Hello, hello, are we live? Everybody, it is finally time. It has been so long, it feels like, since we did one of these. I actually had to go back and revamp the playlist a bit because some of the details were like kind of off and everything, and it's, I don't know, I meant to get through these a whole lot quicker, but as it turns out, today is the 22nd of November. Tomorrow is the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, so I gotta get this done before then. And yeah, I am, wow, it was May. The last one of these was in May. But everybody, it is time for the Doctor Who Series 4 tier list. If you guys, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's in the title, what we're doing today. And forgive me because I just realized I haven't got, like, any of the things that I was supposed to get ready at all. But, we are about to get into arguably the best series of Doctor Who, like, ever. And, you know, one of the most highly rated periods of TV. It's actually crazy, because rewatching this, I got a lot to say, but it's like, I'm beginning to see the bigger picture now of why that original first, like, 4 or 5 years of the New Who was so revered, because it's just remarkably consistent and, like, high quality. And I'm really excited to get into it. Where is it? Is that it? There we go. But I'm not on my own, of course. As always, there are collaborators, and I'm trying to get all of this sorted out because I don't know if they're here yet. Yep, some of them are here. Guys, there's today's Light Golden QOTD, of course. Who's your favourite Doctor Who antagonists and why? Samaritans. I'll talk a little more about that later on, or maybe I won't, honestly, because I sometimes forget. So, you know. It's all in the description, though. But yeah, chat, how are we doing? I see Ethan, it's Ethan Livy in chat. Alright, guys, it's time to come on up. Please welcome the one and only true player and Nebula Nexus 03, Ethan Livy. They're here to vibe. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit out of it, I'm not gonna lie. Guys, how you doing?
Hello.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here they are.
Hey.
Yo, it's lit.
Okay.
Just in response to chat, by the way, I had Spotify open, so I just used the Doctor Who theme that was on Spotify. Because I didn't want the intro to go on too long anyway. The fan edit's okay, but I'd rather use the official thing.
I can't believe they didn't put that version of the theme on the album, because it's the superior version.
Honestly, I can't even tell the difference. I thought it was a fan edit.
Sure?
Are you talking about something else?
No, the link I've sent in live chat, or like, hang on, like, I sent it in the collaboration.
Because I'm kind of curious about that. Because I mean, the theme tune is just one of the many aspects of Doctor Who that is so iconic. Unreleased. Hold on, I didn't see this. Why is it
it's the unreleased version of the Series 4 theme. It's used throughout the actual, yeah.
Wow. This just sounds like the intro. I don't know, I'm skipping through it, but yeah, that's really cool. I mean, it doesn't matter, but thank you. My Discord got banned? Maurizio, man, I don't know what to say about that. Why'd you get banned from Discord? What do you have to do to get banned from Discord? It's gotta be something pretty bad.
It's at least, at least you didn't get your account, disabled the same way I did.
Oh my god, don't even go. That's such a stupid exploit. Yeah, the fact that actually happened is just insane. Like, Discord is so incompetent for that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, but yeah, we're not gonna worry about that, guys, because it is time for the Doctor Who review. I'm sorry, I've been so busy this week, like, my head's not in the game. Let me just put on my normal background music playlist. This is all the usual stuff. People watching the stream, tell me if the audio balance is okay. That's actually very quiet. You should be able to hear the people talking much louder than the music. How are you guys today, anyway? Let me look at your channels, even though I checked them on my list today.
Well, I haven't uploaded in 9 days, which is, like,
unbelievable.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I've not uploaded
Shocking.
that long.
Guys, look at my new floor. That's gotta be one of my favorites. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's so weird how like little things like that become memes, and it's just like that's me, but it's like I'm just some random dude in this. It's quite funny.
Oh, hang on.
Like,
hang on.
Even though it's like there's like a negative aspect to it, I kind of like the idea that there's just random like bits, like images of me floating out there, of just being a random dude, and it's like nobody knows the context. That's just such a funny idea to me. But yeah, Livy, how you doing?
Oh, I am very spaced out. I had a migraine last night, but I'm all good now.
It's unfortunate. I'm just tired. I've been working round the clock because I've had loads of assignments at uni. It's honestly stressful, just all the like essays and stuff. I love literally everything else about my degree except that, but honestly, it's not a big deal. It's just so time consuming. It's always the hardest part is starting. It gets easier. But anyway, your channel's popping off. I really should watch more of your videos, Livy. Like, you're actually so underrated. Guys, go subscribe to Nebula Nexus.
I made a community post like a week ago telling people to subscribe to her.
Oh hell
The
yeah!
responses
Good man.
were who
I haven't looked at this at all because I don't know any of the Mario Kart 8 maps. Oh wow!
It's alright.
But look at this. I mean, I probably know a couple of them from like your videos, but like I don't know them well enough to say that. Yes, no, aka uncultured individuals. I love this. I actually don't. I'm uncultured. I know
it's on Disney
Louis.
Plus. Well,
really well.
no.
Most of it's on Disney Plus, so it's right there waiting for you.
This is a good question. Which FNAF game do you think is the hardest to learn your first playing it? That's a long discussion.
Yeah. I think for me it's easily for me it's UCM, but Mac did make a good argument in FNAF. Well, he said that hot take FNAF 6 is the harder one to learn, and I can see that because UCM gives you the descriptions, but FNAF 6 just throws you in with pretty much no explanation.
UCN's too much information. Yeah. Pizza Sim is not enough. I never had a problem learning Pizza Sim, and I didn't watch Let's Plays first, but I mean, there's an argument there. I don't know, like with FNAF 4, the only thing that's really hard to understand is what the breathing actually sounds like, in my experience, and with FNAF 3, it's just confusing coming off the first two.
If you want to know what the breathing sounds like, just sort my videos by most popular.
Exactly, yeah. But without that, I literally never knew what the breathing sounded like, which is strange, but it's just how it is.
You know, I never regret, teaching you how to play FNAF 4.
Absolutely not. I don't know. FNAF 3 I don't think is that hard. Oh, this is interesting. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not this. Wow. Like, UCN, it's not knowing what to do that's the hard part. It's actually being able to do it. I mean, that's a very skill-based game. I'm going to go FNAF 6. That's a hard pick. Anyway, we're getting really sidetracked here, because actually, guys, we got to fly through this. Time is ticking. Time is limited. Also, hello, my name is...
Time is in flux.
Rizio. You don't know why your account was banned? That is pretty serious, and I'm not going to question it because I don't want to get into that. But anyways, guys, so I've changed
time is in flux.
Time is in flux. We've got 3.5 hours before I gotta go, which is after the ending time for streams anyway. But I've changed the description a bit because things have changed, guys. The iconic and historic British Sci-Fi TV show will mark its 60th anniversary in 2023. So in the lead up to this special occasion, I'll be rewatching, reviewing, and ranking every episode of Doctor Who from 2005 to 2009. Not series 1 to 10. I'm gonna be honest, my original plan was to just rewatch everything pre-Chibnall and Whittaker, but I don't have that kind of time. I barely have time to watch new stuff as it is. Rewatching all this TV stuff and writing my notes on it has been, I don't know, maybe I'm just slow, but it's I've not had the time. So I've just managed to squeeze in series 4, and that's the other thing. For today's stream, we're ranking series 4, including every episode from Partners in Crime to Journey's End. So this actually doesn't include the specials. Ironically enough, I want to do the specials in their own special. I'm going to do an additional tier list after we've had some of the 60th anniversary specials and just see how that affects the conversation.
Me and Olivia, we're gonna watch the End of Time parts 1 and 2 definitely before the 60th anniversary specials come out. But I don't know if we're gonna watch the other two that we haven't watched. We've watched The Next Doctor. We just haven't watched the Planet of the Dead and the Waters of Mars.
I wouldn't skip Waters of Mars personally, but
yeah,
good choice.
Yeah, Waters of Mars I know because it sets up the Time Lord Victorious.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already watched. At this point, I've watched every David Tennant episode, but it's been a while since I've watched them.
That's the thing. It's been such a long time for me since I watched some of this stuff. It was almost like watching it for the first time again. I don't know. I think it's been like a year since I've watched the Matt Smith stuff. So I think it'll be good to rewatch all that. I don't even remember what the last time I watched certain stuff was. I see clips on YouTube, to be fair, so it's like stays relatively fresh in my memory. But like
I think Swim has finally finished everything up to the Capaldi era. So
he's been binging, man.
He said he's gonna watch the Jodie Whittaker era just because he's got time and he wants to, because he's never actually watched those episodes past series 11.
For context, yeah. So yeah, guys, we got the 10th Doctor episodes tier list here, as we have before, and I'm gonna gather all the series 4 episodes, not all of them.
I was gonna say something. So the series 4 special is kind of like a half season before half series before series 5, because I think they wanted to do another series with David Tennant, but they just didn't really have time or a motivation, or they didn't want to stay on long enough for a full series, so they just
I can't remember exactly why, but yeah, there was a variety of reasons.
They actually originally had David Tennant, they planned David Tennant to appear as a dying Doctor in the 11th Doctor's first episode, only to regenerate into the 11th Doctor partway through.
Ooh, that would have been interesting. Imagine if we got the regeneration in Journey's End. How mad would that have been?
The events of Journey's End would have played out completely. Yeah, the events of the finale would have played out completely differently because
totally different.
Because what is it? Because the Doctor fully regenerates, so he's suffering from post-regen trauma. The spare hand doesn't get the regen energy, so the Doctor Donna never happens. Yeah. Therefore, the reality bomb goes off.
Yeah.
Let's
go through the episodes and talk about this when we get there, because there's going to be so much to say and time's ticking. Livy, is there anything you want to say before we get started? No, brilliant.
No, let's just go for it.
I feel like she's just overshadowed by us two. We're the Doctor Who nerds, and she's the third wheel.
Maybe. So let me actually get my tier list notes out here. So I was looking back on the other streams and I realized, man, presentation matters. My presentation is honestly not very good. I got to do this more like a podcast, I guess, because on screen the best thing is just to have the tier list, but you just get the same thing for like an hour. Why are we in series 2? Where's series 4, man? I've got so many notes now, like it's such a large notepad.
Why is every single one of your reviews in a single notepad?
I don't know, man. I didn't even think about it. Like, it just sort of happened that way. I just kind of kept going. I haven't bothered to organize this at all. But yeah, if I actually get my browser, I want to see actually. I'm sorry, no wasting time. Can I get Discord overlay on my browser? I did this before, I think, in the last stream with the PowerPoint. Can I do it with registered games? Let me add my browser. There's no way this actually works. No. I think if I toggle overlay. Hello? Because I want you guys to be visible if possible. That'd be nice. I don't think it's working. Well, not going to worry about it. Guys, you know who's here. Their channels are linked in the description. So let's get on with this. Episode 1, Partners in Crime. Does someone else want to start, actually? Give you guys the floor. You've got a lot to say about it.
Well, I think this is probably maybe it's one of the best series introductions, and it's possibly the best. Well, I think I haven't watched past series 9, so I don't know if any companion has been reintroduced aside from Martha. This is probably the best companion reintroduction of the entire series, because we already have context as to who Donna is, right, from the Runaway Bride. Yeah. And people were actually not that happy to see Donna return, because they thought she was annoying in the Runaway Bride.
Interesting.
That all changed when the whole series came out.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if it was how much was planned or how much was improvised with how that works. So you know Wilf, he appears in Voyage of the Damned before he appears in series 4, right? Yes.
Well,
yes.
He was never actually meant to be a recurring character in series 4. He was just meant to be in that one episode. And Donna's father was supposed to take his place, but that the actor passed away during filming of the first episode. They did actually get the deleted. They did actually get the scene shot with him on the hill.
I've seen it.
Where,
you sent it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they actually reference him in like Turn Left, I think. They reference Donna's dad passing away or something. It's really.
They do. Yeah. And Wilf's original name was Stan.
Stan the man. Hell yeah. Okay, that's.
Anyways, the episode in general was. I think the episode in general was a really fun one.
So we got S, A, B, C, D tiers basically. GOAT, fantastic, good, okay, bad. Where would you rank it?
When it comes to like a starter episode, I think I put it in GOAT tier. Oh.
What about you, Livy? Where would you rank Partners in Crime?
Well, I've already got to go, so I should be back soon because I don't have to do the washing up today. I don't have to do the washing up today, so I should be back soon.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, I'll see you soon, I guess.
I'll disconnect entirely. So see ya.
Yeah. You just hop back in when you're ready. All right. That's damn. Like we're like 10 minutes in. Timing is so hard, man. So anyway, Partners in Crime.
So I gotta say, before I came on the stream earlier today, I did go back through just 5 minutes of each episode just to kind of refresh my memory.
Oh, I've been rewatching
and made a load of little notes, but
nice.
Overall for series starters, like Ethan said, this is definitely the best one, but overall in the series itself, I had to say I put it in good tier at the top good tier, because there are plenty of memorable moments in it. I think my favorite one is the part where they're looking at each other through the doors, communicating with each other, and they're just oh my god, it's funny.
That was such a funny scene. Yeah.
But I think, to be honest, I think it was just a case of adjusting to new characters, I suppose, and then also the little I can't remember the little fat blobs.
The adipose.
They're cute, but they're
Mauricio, I'm sorry, I didn't see your
weird.
message. This is just my background ambient music playlist. It includes Minecraft music. Yeah. Yeah, they're adorable, but they're really weird at the same time, and I didn't know what to think of it, and the transformation things. Yeah, no, I think that's the point though. It's the Doctor Who's quirkiness. Doctor Who's a quirky show. It's really, but it's really weird in a really specific way that really enhances the kind of atmosphere and kind of balances the kind of the darker edge of it with the light-hearted stuff. Because actually, Doctor Who's such a amazing show. It's primarily obviously sci-fi, but there's straight up horror elements and comedy and stuff to balance out in the same episode, and it's all ages. But man, there's some scary stuff in Doctor Who, and I don't know, it's weird. So I wrote way too much on most of these episodes, and almost all my rankings were 9 or 10 out of 10. I was so generous. So I'm not gonna put anything in GOAT tier until we've done the rankings and really push them up, like I did with Series 3. See what's the best, because it's really hard to kind of choose. My review of this base was that it was a stylish introduction to Series 4. It's strangely silly and light-hearted, but it works. It has a very specific tone and direction that makes it kind of stick out, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. The plot's fine, it makes sense, not the most impressive thing ever. There's a unique social commentary on obesity, though, which was, again, a highlight when Doctor Who does good social commentary. Obviously, the important thing, though, is the Doctor's relationship with Donna and vice versa, and how they're set up for the series, because this is Donna's story, this series. But yeah, Catherine Tate absolutely stole the show for me in this episode. She's just iconic. And I like the variety compared to Rose and Martha. These characters are a lot more different than I thought they were. In the first, when I watched them for the first time. What I wrote here is that she's kind of mellowed out a bit from the melodramatic aspects of Runaway Bride, because Runaway Bride was not the best Doctor Who episode ever. It was a Christmas special, so it's like, you're kind of limited, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, she's already grown as a character, but she's still distinctly, you know, fiery and sassy in a way that's different from both Rose and Martha. And it makes sense, because for the 4th series of Doctor Who, I like how we're skipping more and more with each series the kind of steps of being introduced to the Doctor. It's like, you know, after we get 2 whole series with Rose, Martha has a quicker introduction to kind of, you know, adventures with the Doctor, and then with Donna, she already knows him from that one Christmas special, and it's like, it just improves like kind of like pacing. Speaking of the pacing of the episode itself, it's just beautiful. The direction, cinematography, and sound effects, as well as music, were all just like sublime. And I like Wilf. I absolutely love Wilf. His character and the actor whose name escapes me, Bernard Cribbins, legend. Absolute legend. Rest in peace, if I remember correctly. He's not with us anymore.
I was trying to explain to Ethan that he's Captain Jack from the Rainbow Boat thing on CBeebies, and Ethan got so confused because he thought I was talking about the other Captain Jack.
Yeah.
But,
no.
Yeah.
I remembered him from the Peter Cushing movies. You know those like old Technicolor Doctor Who movies that aren't really canon, but they probably are. They're just like an alternate universe.
Nah, I don't remember.
They came out in the 60s. Oh, Livy, look up the Doctor Who movies from the 1960s. They're amazing. And young Bernard Cribbins is in those as a companion. But yeah, his energy and charisma is iconic. And I love that they tied it in with Voyage of the Damned, which it goes even further in like Turn Left. But yeah, Donna's portrayal is absolutely S tier, and I love like, you know, the kind of unique flavour of Series 4 with all the like swooping transitions and the kind of, you know, hilarious lip reading scene and the music. Again, it's a very silly episode. Like, you've got Penny constantly getting tied up to a chair as a running gag. The adipose are like this horrific concept that are done in like the most goofy way possible, so it kind of creates this really weird dynamic. And there's a bit of like, you know, more dramatic moments that really pay off stuff since Runaway Bride, because it's like, you know, the Doctor and Donna address how he's changed since they last met because of the whole thing where she stopped him from basically, you know, getting himself killed, trying to like, you know, genocide the Ragnos. He's calmed down a bit, you know, after his time with Martha, and he's not moping over Rose anymore. But yeah, the setup for Series 4 is very subtle. One of the things that really impresses me with this is the kind of series arc building. You've got like the mention of a missing planet in passing, the Dr. Donna is being foreshadowed, Rose appears with the Doomsday theme, and then like fades away, like Rose gets a cameo, and it kind of sets up, you know, the whole, you know, Turn Left episode and all of the stuff in the finale. And it's like, it's amazing to see her interact with Donna, because Donna doesn't know who she is. She hasn't made the connection, even though I think she's heard about Rose from the 10th Doctor. She hasn't made the connection that that's Rose. Anyway, I'm rambling on because my notes are so long here, but basically I'm skipping over. My only complaints are that, like, the tone seems a bit janky. It's just kind of like, you know, like the script and the direction kind of have a mismatch in terms of tone. That's kind of weird. And there's some plot points which are just a bit convenient. Like, how long was Donna hanging? You know when she's, like, hanging off the elevator outside? And, like, you know...
Yeah.
Like, she falls, like, just in time to be rescued. It's like, I don't know. It's one of those kind of dramatic tension things that just seems a little contrived. But, yeah, that's such a nitpick. Like, it's really hard to nitpick stuff from this. It really sets up, like, series arc stuff in an important way, and it does Donna's character the best. I gotta give it fantastic. Like, there's so... I don't know. Like, it's a bit of a weird episode, but it's not a bad one. I gotta give it fantastic. I really want to be critical, but it's like, these episodes are so good. DJ, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. Let's talk about the fires of Pompeii. Ethan, Swim can catch up if and when they arrive. No, Swim is also supposed to be here. He hasn't turned up yet. So... Fires of Pompeii, Livy, what's your take on it?
I quite like this one because I like the fact how you've got the story of like Vesuvius exploding, but then you've got this little like side story that's going on during all the chaos. trying to phrase it. I like the fact that it's got like a little storyline in it.
Like it links, it builds within the historical setting.
Yeah.
It's good historical.
I think the main thing that I picked up on was it has Peter Capaldi in it. One of the Doctor's after. Yeah.
Dude, Peter Capaldi, honestly, that's crazy. Like, he is also in Torchwood as a guy called Frobisher, apparently. And it's kind of weird that, like, he got cast in 3 different roles in the same kind of universe. And apparently there was some kind of explanation for this, but Frobisher in Torchwood kind of got forgotten about. But they did actually link Caecilius with him in, like, Series 9, which was awesome. And honestly, that's all there needs to be, I think. You can write it off as, like, a coincidence or, like, a, you know... what do you call it? Like, it's just a casting thing. It doesn't have to mean something. But yeah, you know, Russell T and Moffat, like, they talked about this apparently behind the scenes. This had a rock solid plot.
Yeah.
Pun intended. Immaculate pacing, neat historical tie-ins, excellent production standards, and some really important character development. There seems to be this running thing in Doctor Who series where the second episode is the one where the Doctor kind of faces a moral challenge and the companion kind of, like, you know, teaches him to do better. But it was kind of the other way around this time. I don't know. It kind of goes both ways. It's really good. Because the moral dilemma, I called it the killing Hitler moral dilemma. If you could go back in time, prevent a catastrophe, saving millions, like, would you do it? Because when it's towards the end, when, like, the Doctor and Donna are kind of locked in the escape pod thing, and they have to make the choice to erupt Vesuvius and kill everyone in Pompeii, you know, to avoid, you know, the Pyroviles from, like, you know, taking over the entire planet and killing the entire human race. And it's kind of like, you know, it's that kind of, you know, moral dilemma that pushes them to the absolute limit. And it really demonstrates Donna's critical humanity and kindness. It doesn't make perfect sense. I wrote these at, like, 2 a.m. most nights because I had to watch these late, so they don't entirely make sense these nights. But, like... Yeah. I absolutely love the weight of that decision, the way it's portrayed, the music and the camera. I mean, like, it's done really well. I did write, for people who aren't familiar with Doctor Who, the fixed point in time excuse might seem contrived, but this is actually a thing that is established throughout years of Doctor Who, and it's kind of just like, you know, kind of just exists for plot, but, you know, it's an interesting concept that actually creates other stories. We've seen this with, like, you know, Series 6 and stuff. And also, you know, the Doctor's responsibility... Oh, wow, that was quick. Welcome back.
Hello.
Oh,
but, like,
I wanted to say a much cooler response to say I'm back, but the mic didn't work. That was epic.
Epic fail. But yeah, basically, we're talking about the moral dilemma in Fires of Pompeii. Like, the Doctor's responsibility to uphold history, to avoid cosmic consequences, links back to his whole character arc with remorse over what happened with Gallifrey. And that's, like, the defining thing of this entire era. So yeah, it's really important. And I love the compromise that they make by saving Caecilius' family, like, because Donna is absolutely begging him, and the Doctor decides to, like, make an exception for that. You know, putting the noble in Donna Noble. Anyway, yeah, just excellent, excellent writing. And yeah, the rest of my notes here basically just said, like, there's so many brilliant things about this episode. You got, like, the volcano day, like, you know, scene with the shot, the Oracle stuff, foreshadowing turn left. I'm trying to remember... Oh, yeah, where the lighting goes all red and it's like the oracles are, like, competing to predict the future and there's all this foreshadowing. That was a really clever way to integrate parts of the story into the series arc. You've also got Karen Gillan and Peter Capaldi in this episode, and they're both brilliant. And the Welsh translation error gag, the water pistol, there's lots of just little bits in this episode.
Oh, yeah, this was also the first reoccurring appearance of, oh, no, we're not married.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like how recognizable the family, Caecilius' family is, despite being from such a different period of time. Yeah, the intrigue mystery of the prophecies and the way the sci-fi jargons, like, and expositions handled is good. And you've again Pyroviles on the missing planets. My only real critiques are that some moments aren't so great. Like, the eruption uses stock footage that doesn't blend into the scene at all. And apparently the Doctor and Donna outrun a pyroclastic flow, which seems a bit strange. And I don't know how Caecilius got the TARDIS in his house like that so fast, but These are really
Modern
nitpicks in an otherwise witty, emotional, and captivating adventure. I gotta give this one S tier, man. It's I have no criticism of this. What did you guys think?
I think what
I
raises
put it in top tier.
Well, I would put this one in B tier, but what puts this up to A tier for me? What brings this up to A tier for me is the fact that this gets called back to in a much later series, and so it has much more importance in the Doctor Who, canon. There is no canon, but you know.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a really cool tie-in for Capaldi's era later on, but just like as it is here, like. There's so little I would actually change. Like, I think the way the story is structured and the characters are handled, like, because, while Donna is, like, spending time with the daughter, I forget her name, and learning about the oracles and, like, kind of, like, standing in for the viewer, trying to warn her about tomorrow, and then, like, the Doctor's off with the son, and they find, like, the circuit boards that have been made in stone. I don't know, it's just, this was such a cool episode. It feels kind of like a Shakespeare code for me, but like without any of the pacing issues or whatever it was I didn't like about it.
Yeah.
All right, Planet of the Ood.
This Planet of the Ood and the Fires of Pompeii. Either one of those two is probably the lowest point of Doctor Who Series 4, and even then, they like go to like B tier at lowest.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the standard is so high with this series, it's really hard for me to find anything wrong with it.
Also, two things before we move on to Planet of the Ood. Number one, Doctor Who finally coming to Disney Plus in a few days, or tomorrow, depending on which day actually comes. And number two, Matt, have you seen that Children in Need special?
Yes, I have. Shall we talk about that at the end? Do you guys want to talk about that?
We can talk about it. Yeah, we can talk about it at the end.
We got time. All right. So, Planet of the Ood. Ethan, do you want to start since you got back?
Yeah, sure. So, this is the first reappearance of the Ood since, that Series 2 two-parter, The Impossible Planet and The Satan Pit. And I think that they're used quite nicely here, instead of just, I don't know if they're used quite in the same way. Like, they're still a quote-unquote slave race. Not slaves, but like, servants. Like, butlers, if you will. The way they're integrated into this episode, I think it flows quite nicely, and with the whole plot point with the Ood brain, and the song. I don't know the name of the song that they sing. What else? I also love that the setting for this episbe comes back in the end of time. Well, if only briefly. What else? I also gotta love Ood Sigma. You're a real Sigma.
Yes.
Sorry, I only half took that in because my mum came in.
I don't really have much to say. It's like, I think this is probably one of the best Ood episodes. I don't know if the Ood ever appear again after this in like proper full episodes.
I don't remember. They do, but I don't remember.
I don't know.
There was something in like series 5 or 6.
I have no idea.
But yeah,
Mr. Matthias has gone muted.
Oh, am I still muted? Hello?
Yes, I think is someone...
I thought I hit unmute. I'm so sorry. I had to mute because Mum needed something from me. It's all good now.
Right.
But yeah, the Planet of the Ood, like, so I don't know. I'll just go through my notes. The pacing and the plot I thought were good, nicely crafted. Production standards were solid. The most pertinent thing is obviously the commentary on slavery, imperialism, and even capitalism. All the kind of commentary about that. I like the intro sequence. Like, they start with like this senior business exec that's commodifying the Ood, and then just gets like executed out of nowhere. It just provides a stark image that really grips the audience, and like the idea of like the red eye contamination gradually building tension, before like all the like singing and the stuff and the stuff they do at the end. It's just absolutely, it's cathartic. I think Warehouse 15 could have been introduced earlier in the story. Like, I think the Ood brain and stuff, that came in a bit late. Like, it could have been, like, I don't know, teased more. But the symbolism and the motifs of the circle are really consistent and interesting. And I like that the Doctor's enhanced psychic senses are, like, actually a part of the story here. Like, he hears the song when Donna doesn't, and they have, like, the...
Yeah.
Again, oh my god, I just realised that's also foreshadowing when he wipes Donna's memories, because the way he puts his hands on her head is the exact same. I didn't even realise. Again,
And,
like,
you know,
little things like this justify big story moments later on, because they don't come out of nowhere. They're built on, through other things earlier in the series.
Yeah, it's foreshadowing the Doctor Donna, and it's also kind of foreshadowing, the Doctor's song ending.
Yeah, because it all ties into End of Time as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the mention of the bees disappearing, so they're kind of ticking the story arc box. Yeah, it also mentions the snow's real for once, because it's always been like ash or something in all the other different Christmas specials. So that's fun.
I was gonna mention the bees disappearing. I never really understood that. Like,
it's explained briefly. It's very skimmed over. But in Stolen Earth, some bees are aliens. And they were migrating back to their planet because they could sense the signal that the Crucible was sending before it stole the Earth.
It's such a weird detail. I never really understood why that was ever included.
I just think it's like, honestly, it's the thing is with a lot of parts of some Doctor Who story arcs, they do feel tacked on. Like the crack in Series 5, it's just kind of there at the end of the episode, and it's like not acknowledged or talked about, so it doesn't have any meaning really. It's just like, oh, this is a thing. And yeah, I don't know, this didn't need to exist, but it was, again, I think it was part of the story for Stolen Earth, and it's like, I just think the idea of like regular animals on Earth actually secretly being aliens is quite funny. Kind of like with the dolphins in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I just think it's funny. But yeah, it also retroactively improves the Satan Pit, because we actually get some resolution to the Doctor basically leaving the Ood to die in that episode, which was a bit of a dick move on his part. Not like he could do much, but yeah, we could see that the TARDIS can like carry a planet. Maybe not from a black hole, but I don't know. Journey Down is different again because there's like 6 people actually piloting it.
He obviously couldn't have gone back in time because, part of events.
Yeah, can't go back in your own timeline. But anyway, but yeah, I like the thing is this episode actually did really good with the additional characters. Like Mr. Halpin has like a very clear motivation, and it like his whole disposition is like really suited to his role in the story. The photo spy, Friends of the Ood, I thought that was actually great and subtly foreshadowed. Seeing the PR lady, whose name I forget, actually turn against the Doctor and Donna, like she doesn't take their offer, and then she winds up dead. Again, like the way she's killed is just so sudden and like disrespectful. I don't know, it's fitting because it's a refreshing twist. It actually shows, sometimes people just continue to make wrong choices and then they face really serious consequences. It kind of morally grey, kind of like, man, was this right? Did she deserve that? Donna says, I can't tell what's right or wrong with you anymore.
It's better that way.
Because, people who are very sure that they're right end up like Mr. Halpin, greedy, callous, and selfish. It's an interesting message, and I kind of like it. It's like a message about being open-minded. But yeah, Ood Sigma. Absolute Sigma. The hair tonic subplot with the reveal was, like, really bizarre and, like, kind of, like, fitting as an ending, because it just reverses Halpin's kind of, like, role in power. I love it.
Takes all sorts of shapes. Came out of the Red Eye's revenge, came out of the Rabbidoo's anger, and then there was patience.
Yeah. Oh man, the quotes. Yeah, Sigma's awesome. I love that. But yeah, I think like Donna's journey as well is really important in this series. And I like how this depicts actually that even though this is just her third adventure, she's had one on Earth, now she's had one off-world in the future. It's like...
Well,
they've both been fairly depressing, so she wants to go home, and that leads us into Sontaran Stratagem.
Technically, this is her fourth adventure.
Well, yeah, okay, technically. But yeah,
Also, Swim said he's going to be here in a few minutes. He's just booting up his laptop.
Nice. But yeah, I didn't really have any criticism of this one. Just thought, like, there's a lot of exposition, but it's not bad. And, like, the technical and production values are excellent. And just the way Donna represents the kind of average, ordinary human viewer, like, it's, I don't know. It kind of just ticks all the boxes. Like, I can't find any problems with this I'd change. What do you think, Livy? I don't know if I'm letting you speak yet, though.
I gotta say, I found the part, like, I think it was after the intro, when they arrive there, like Donna's all excited and everything. She goes out and then it's freezing cold. And the doctor's like saying how amazing it is that she's like first human to go there with him or something like that. And she disappears back into the TARDIS and then comes out in this really fluffy coat. And he's like, is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as far as the...
Can you hear anything in that? Pardon?
Yeah.
It's the small touches that count, 'cause it makes these characters so much more realistic.
Yeah.
You were saying? Were you going to say anything else?
Yeah, like with the Ood, it kind of like, not exactly the same, and I know that Detroit Become Human came out like way later than this episode, but like it kind of gave me some like similar vibes, like with the Ood being like, no, we don't want to be sold as merchandise sort of thing. Like, I think just from that aspect, I'm not, because obviously they're two very different situations from the androids and Ood. They kind of gave me sort of similar vibes from that aspect.
Yeah, I mean it's an emancipation story. I just can't think of anything I would change. I guess it's not like one of my like favorites. Like I don't feel compelled to rewatch it much. But like I don't know. These are really, there's a really high standard for series 4. We talk about Sontaran Stratagem. If you guys want to move on though.
I think we're
There's a lot to say
ready.
about this one. Because this is basically the series 4 equivalent of Aliens of London. It's that Earth-based two-parter, and it's actually got some similar kind of thematic elements. So, what did you guys think of this? I mean,
well, I like the return of Martha. There's some gives some more to her character, you know, after she left at the end of series 3. What else?
I'm gonna try and condense my notes because I've written so much.
I do like Donna and Martha's interactions, because Donna's like really accepting of, you know, who the Doctor travels with, unlike Rose and Martha. You know, Martha
Yeah.
was the Doctor was coming off, you know, just losing Rose, and he was pining over her, and it really just took over, and she was really annoyed with that. And Rose couldn't accept the fact that there were women that had travelled with the Doctor before, so there was problems with both of them. But Donna understood the Doctor's, you know, sadness, and you know, everything that has happened to him. He understands that he's lost Rose. He's never getting her back, or so we think, or so they think. And you know, she understands. She her platonic relationship with the Doctor is, you know, she's this is why she's my favorite companion, because she relates with, well, not relates, but like, I don't know the right word. She
sympathizes.
Yeah, sympathizes with the Doctor.
Yeah. No, actually, yeah, you're right. It's such an interesting progression, because it's like Rose starts out as this, like, you know, totally and completely average Earth girl, and she has this like very, you know, soppy kind of generic like love story with the Doctor. Then we get the Martha like arc, which is like this unrequited love thing, and it's, you know, it shows the kind of problematic aspect of the Doctor, I guess, especially at that point in time. And there's other things going on, but then yeah, with Donna, it's like, you know, there's just no romantic arc, and it's a nice you know, change, because it's like such a, you know, generic thing at this point. It's such like a one-up thing. I like that every companion's different and each one like progresses differently. But also, like, yeah, Donna actually understands the Doctor the most, I would argue. Like, she actually, despite outwardly being the most brash and like hostile, she actually has the most empathy, like the most quickly out of the three, which is just, it's interesting. Like, there's a lot of dimensions these characters you don't like immediately notice. I mean, it's different at different points in time. But yeah, honestly, just having Martha back was really cool. The what I wrote here, like, generally I love this episode. You know, the soundtrack and production values were high. The intro sequence with the unit soldiers entering the basement reminded me of Series 1.
This is the first full appearance. This is the first proper appearance of Unit in the Revival series.
Is it? Because technically they were in Aliens of London, but like
they were mentioned, but they didn't like actually make a proper appearance.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they were always very much in the background. This felt like a, bit of an overdue
Also,
introduction.
The name seems to change. It's sometimes it's United Nations Intelligence Task Force, and then sometimes it's Unified Intelligence Task Force.
They changed it in New Who, I think, or something like that. I don't remember.
Mickey said in Aliens of London that it was called United Nations Task Force, and then in Series 4 they call it Unified Intelligence Task Force.
I don't remember. I don't know, but yeah, I guess maybe it's an inconsistency. Maybe they actually just missed something. But yeah, anyway, Livy, was there anything that stuck out to you specifically? Because I have a lot of notes on this one, actually.
Linking back to the part where Donna and Martha first met with the Doctor, I feel like the audience kind of relates with him because he's like, please don't fight, and then they are just talking to each other, getting along.
Dude, I love that. It was so funny.
That was quite nice.
Yeah, having them immediately hit it off and then like each other more than the Doctor and just kind of third wheel him, and that scene was so funny.
Then that moment when it's just them two alone, and then the Martha's discussing her travels with the Doctor and what happened to her family during Series 3. She's advising Martha that she's advising Donna that she tell her family where she is, because otherwise, what happened to Martha could happen to her. Yeah, again, this is part of setting up Donna as family further and developing her further, and it's so good because it aligns with the rest of the story. Donna's already had these, pretty scary first adventures. The first two stories are particularly depressing compared to most, and it's, coming off of that and, Martha's advice. But she still doesn't leave permanently, because she knows, the Doctor needs someone. She still actually is, utterly, starstruck by, all the potential of, traveling the universe. Yeah. It just, the banter and the dialogue I wrote here, it just felt so natural and charismatic, and they were really, consistent. I do love the emotional beat of Martha passing on her lessons to Donna, and that kind of dynamic of, before and after, I guess. When you travel Donna's with the Doctor, being too similar to Martha's as well. When you travel with the Doctor, your life changes forever, and you never go back to who you once were. Exactly. So it's good to see that. It's good to see that shown off. So, you gotta remember, this is a part 1. So as a part 1 story, it's interesting, what's different there. I liked the plot and the structure. It actually managed to flip between totally different scenes in a way that wasn't immersion breaking. It didn't introduce anything too late. I actually looked at the timestamps. All of the plot elements are introduced before the halfway point, which is a really good kind of storytelling technique. You got the opener with Rattigan and the Atmos victim, because Rattigan doesn't come back until the second half of the episode. You've got the two soldiers in the basement who get mind controlled later on, and the clone that turns out to be Martha. That was such a good subplot to give Martha more agency in the story, I think, because having her be the clone was a really interesting angle, I think. Also with the namesake of the episode, the Sontarans, the first appearance of Sontarans in the new series. Really exciting. That one not General Stahl the Undefeated, not General Stahl, but the other one that administers the Commander Score. Yeah. He looks suspiciously like Strax. He's the same actor, that's why. He's played multiple times. I think it's Dan Starkey, I think his name is. Great guy. I mean, we all love Strax, so if it's close enough, it is acceptable. We love Strax, we do. But yeah, I wrote here, no characters wasted. Virtually every line furthers the plot, provides exposition, or improves the dynamic between the characters. You remember Ross and the dog? I love their car ride, and they have the little joke about the Atmos is they turn right. And Donna being the one to actually check the records for the factory had 0 sick days, that she does makes more progress than a friggin' army general, the Doctor, and everyone in a minute. It's so funny. Her work as a temp pays off. And the cliffhanger where it's hilarious that both her mum and her granddad already have met the Doctor without her knowing. Yeah. I just thought that whole interaction was so funny. It's you! And you never said. It was so good.
But also the cliffhanger ending is like pretty intense. It's a good cliffhanger because it's like there's like a world-ending threat and there's like a personal risk to one of the most innocent characters in the show, and it's like it's scary on both fronts. Yeah, my only real criticisms are that like the woman in the beginning wasn't really like explained that well. Like she was just some kind of reporter. We don't really know anything about her there, and the kind of meta tonal thing of being so anti-military in this episode was kind of like, I don't know, I think it was a little bit over the top. Like it felt a bit in your face. Which is, yeah, I mean, no disrespect, because I'm not saying I really disagree with like the anti-military message in this story, but it's like a bit much. Because like the Doctor having such a negative reaction to guns and salutes makes sense given his PTSD from the Time War, and Don is always snarky. But they could have shown more deeply how significant it is that Martha joined UNIT. Because what I wrote here, I'm just going to read out. It says, yes, we glossed over that they defend Earth from alien threats. And yes, the Doctor inspiring Martha to join an organisation that is by nature one of the things he hates most post-Time War is an amazing new aspect to their character and relationship. Like, Martha's kind of like UNIT time really contrasts with, like, you know, the Doctor's actual, like, attitude. I don't know. I like that. It gives them a bit of a character conflict. But, like, there's no recognition given to how efficient and disciplined the UNIT troops are. Like, they're very consistently shown to be restrained rather than trigger-happy, and intelligent, or at least sensible, and respectful to both people and regulations, i.e. their job. At least we're shown rather than told. But I really like the two going to the basement, the way they're characterized. Like, that little scene, their dialogue was so funny. Anyways... But yeah, I absolutely love this episode.
Mr. Swim_gaming is finally arrived.
Ew.
Swim!
Hello.
Welcome, how you doing? You alright?
Good, thanks.
Guys, I'm gonna link Swim in the description if you want to go subscribe to
this guy has been binging
channel.
Doctor Who.
It's been absolutely, but he's already up to like
Yeah,
11.
I'm on like 10 now.
It's mad. But yeah,
Real.
you doing right? I see you've uploaded some Pizza Sim completion in a private room. Very nice.
Yeah, ages ago.
Oh yeah, it was 3 months ago, blimey. Yeah, Ethan said he hadn't uploaded in 9 days and was like, oh, that was such a long time. And it's like, look at this. Bro.
9 days is a long time for me.
For you, yeah.
It's for you.
Anyways.
You used to upload like 3 times a day.
Yeah, I did. I used to upload like once every 8 hours, like months back.
Honestly,
Oh
I
my
remember
God.
that. It's absolutely mental. I mean, it's all short videos, to be
That's
fair.
cool.
But yeah. Anyway, so we're up to the Poison Sky now. Swim, do you want to start?
Poison Sky has to.
Yeah. The previous episodes, like, do you have anything to say? Like, did you rank them, like, highly or low? Because we all agreed they're, like, really good.
Wait,
like,
let me have a
B to A tier. About the first 5
Poison
episodes.
Climb, A tier.
Yeah, we
Planet
basically
of
said the
Youth.
same.
Yeah, all of those were an A.
Yeah, it's really hard to criticize these, honestly, because there's so little I would change.
Thing is, I'd probably put Fires of Pompeii higher now because, like, after watching the 12th Doctor, it feels better because Capaldi's in that one.
Yeah, this is what Ethan was saying. It's like it actually adds value retroactively, and I think also
And, like,
Planet of the Ood
when you
does
watch,
that for
like-
the Satan Pit. It improves the whole Ood thing.
And what I like about Fires of Pompeii as well is in season 9 you like see him realise why he has that face.
Yeah, that was a great scene. But yeah, sorry. what were
I
you
gotta
gonna
go
say?
for dinner. Sorry, I gotta go for dinner now.
Man,
so
everyone's
I'll
coming
be
and going
back
today.
Later. Yeah,
That's alright.
I'll be
I'll
back.
see you around.
Alright, see you.
Yeah. Bye.
Well, I'll be sure that we all post our tier list at the end. But yeah, Poison Sky then. What do we think of Poison Sky?
S.
Yeah.
Hang on, I posted my tier list somewhere. I shall go to.
I think I ranked. This is including the specials, by the way. I think I ranked it like 4th.
Yeah, don't worry about the specials today. We're not going to have time to cover them.
'Cause
Also,
there's-
sorry, Maurizio, I wasn't reading chat much, but you sound like you're very busy. You do what you got to do, man. Bye-bye. But yeah, Poison Sky, I think I'm tempted to put it S tier, because I'm trying to try and condense my notes here. So, like, a lot of New Who cliffhangers, right? They're always resolved by a fairly contrived means, in my opinion. Like, they're always set up to be, like, really difficult, and then they're solved in, like, a way that's either really obvious or just like really random. But this one was actually really good because it actually furthers Sylvia's character and it adds a bit of comedy to balance the emotional stress and kind of enhance the relief of the situation. Like, it's so brilliantly directed. I love the idea that she just has, what was it, like a bat for burglars?
I'm glad she's actually coming back for the 60th anniversary.
Dude, Sylvia slept on. She's good.
Yeah.
I mean, who else could be Donna's mum, you know? Like,
yeah.
They're similar and different at the same time, and it's great.
I think she really gets... I think Sylvia really gets her time to shine in Turn Left, because it really shows the impact she has had on Donna's life.
Yes. But yeah, the thing I wrote is that this episode is excellent because the two-parter feels less like one half that's just setup and one half that's just payoff. And it's like they're both just good parts of a story that flow, you know, one into the next. The pacing's on point. The Martha clone subplot, I think, was also brilliant from a writing point of view, because at this point, there's no room left or time to develop Martha's character further. So they give her like a specific role in the story that kind of, you know, it keeps her busy, basically. And the layers of intrigue, not knowing if the Doctor knows, not knowing if he was lying when he said knew from the start, or if he was truly playing along. I don't know, I like it, and Martha's interaction with her own clone was also, like, really, I don't know, like, interesting and introspective. Like, it makes you wonder how eerie it must have been for Martha to see herself die and take her own ring off her own hand. Like, it's weird. But it's also, you could see it as symbolic of Martha letting go of her, like, militant side, bringing her back in the direction of the Doctor. If you look at how the camera angle is actually shot, like, it's in that direction, because he's, like, such a pacifist, and pacifism's always, like, a part of, you know, this era of Doctor Who, and kind of just his character. From right to left, away from the clone. Maybe I'm looking into it too deeply, though. Why did I go to touch my screen there? It's like, I'm not on my laptop. I need to turn the music down, sorry, it's too loud. Oh, man. There we go. But yeah, I mean, there's so much I like about this episode. Like, Donna was fantastic. Like, she was challenged and ultimately saved the planet. Sassy but noble, not obedient but not selfish. Great character.
On a moment.
Oh, yeah. Honestly. And her reunion with her family gave a very grounded and strikingly touching aspect to the story. Like, I just thought it was really good how the characters behave like real people. Like, it sounds simple, but like when you actually look at how they respond to stuff in the story, it's brilliant, and it adds that kind of like family dynamic.
Compared to like the characters and the companions in the Whittaker era.
God, don't even get me started.
No, but Bradley, our beloved.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, Graham, my beloved.
I don't hate them.
Graham
like,
just carried.
Yaz, Ryan, and Graham aren't terrible, but there's just the writing's just not that great.
Yaz and Graham aren't terrible. Ryan gets so little, you know, what's the word?
It's like, the actors are great. It's just like the writing. The writing's the worst for Jodie,
yeah,
I think. But
fucking Chris Chibnall. Why couldn't we have Russell T Davies back for Jodie Whittaker?
Literally, dinosaurs on a spaceship, in my opinion, up until 13th Doctor was the worst New Who episode, and they literally brought that writer back.
With that title, he also did 42. Fun fact. Easily the worst episode of Series 3.
It reminds me of that episode in Series 10. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's called Smile. It has these enemies called the Emoji.
Yeah.
That's just so cringe. The
That was
Emoji
so
bots.
bad. That was so bad.
I didn't think it was a bad episode, but it just...
I assume it's not going to be a bad episode, but just the name is just... It's cringe.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Anyway, but yeah, I'm skimming my notes because it's just, I always write too much. But there's stuff, even the action sequences, like I talk about here, the slaughter and reconquest of Unit was excellently directed, filmed, designed, because it's not just a fight scene for the sake of action. You really feel the desperation and helplessness of the humans, when the Sontarans are just effortlessly killing them. You know, when they're going out the garage and they just full retreat. And then, like, the guys who are mind-controlled, they're just standing to attention obediently, and they get gunned down. And also, like, Ross, like, I was actually kind of sad when he died, because he had such a good interaction with the Doctor. and he was loyal right to the end. He was just the absolute perfect soldier. But then, like, you know, the kind of, you know, resolution of, I forget the guy's name, but he shoots, he's like, well, face me, sir, and then, like, the Sultan turns around and he's like, glorious. But also, when they retake the facility, you really feel, like, the hope and the energy because of how strong the emotion was in the previous scene, and it's, like, it's an emotional investment that actually pays off. But yeah, there's also, like, surprise twists, like Ratigan's tech being used to resolve the poison sky in the end was, like, nicely foreshadowed, because that was right at the beginning, like, before the beginning of this episode, because, like, that's where all the technology was established. I did actually have some criticism, like there's the female unit person whose name I forget, I think it was Captain Price, not the Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Captain Price. Like, she's only introduced, like, in this episode, and she has a very minor role, although that moment when she, like, kisses the general is just so funny. There's a bit of tonal whiplash with some of the cuts and music, like, cuts, even between shots in the same room. And, like, Luke Ratigan's sacrifice isn't addressed in as much depth as it probably should have been. Like, the boy loses everything and sacrifices himself for the Earth. And the Doctor is, like, amazed, surprised, but it's, like, never addressed or talked about. Because, like, did he know? Was that the plan? Or, like, was that just luck? Because he was just going to go on the Sontaran ship and basically sacrifice himself, which is crazy.
I just remembered the plot of this two-part episode actually connects with one of the episodes from the Sarah Jane Adventures, because I'd watched a few clips a while back, and one of them showed some flashbacks to this episode using some of the scenes. And there's a Sontaran that actually escaped from the explosion at the end of the episode.
Oh, wow. I think I remember that. I must have watched that. I vaguely remember. I need to watch Sarah Jane Adventures.
The Sontarans are, like, the most underrated villains, I can't lie.
They are. They're really cool.
Yeah.
Is it, like, I'm annoyed that they didn't use them more in the rest of New Who, though I did like Strax was such a good character.
Strax is so funny. Great addition.
Exit the box for the glory of the Sontaran Empire.
Yeah. Anyway, I will go on.
13th.
I don't remember, honestly. The 13th is kind of forgettable, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so let's move on. Doctor's Daughter. What do we think of this episode?
Well, I'm just gonna state it right away. I don't think Martha should have been shoehorned into this episode. It works perfectly fine without her.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like, let's actually talk criticism. So, like, the pacing was mostly okay. Like, it had a fascinating premise, and, like, everything was, like, explained, like, it ticked the boxes, but it was lacking that intrigue. Like, most good Doctor Who stories have a mystery that doesn't get resolved till the end, but this one was kind of lacking. Like, the twist that the war had only been 7 days long, it wasn't really built up to enough, wasn't foreshadowed. Because the only thing is, like, Donna noticed some numbers on the wall, and it's like, you don't remember it. It's not, like, a memorable thing. There's no emotional investment in that.
Donna does get time to shine, though.
Yes, and I like that her skills pay off, and also, like, the symbolic value of the source. The source! I want to see a meme of that. With something that's just, like, has to be censored. Like, this is the source. Me on the Discord, like, showing the boys what I found on, you know, a website that I can't name. Oh, man. Anyway, but yeah, but, like, the strengths in the story really lie in the characters, but only in the main cast. Like, none of the Hath are named. The humans all feel like stereotypes, so they make sense for the story. The Doctor's relentlessly changing attitude to Jenny feels a little uncharacteristic at first, but ultimately, I think it develops into one of the most emotionally impactful depictions of his grief and PTSD from the Time War, because he sees a bit of himself in her, and obviously that part is, like, absolutely tainted by war and genocide, and it's like, I think they were really trying to get him to portray what an actual, like, survivor of a war, and, like, how they would behave, if that makes sense. Because it seems irrational at first, but when you have context, and as you see the episode progress, and then as you get into this deeper conversation with Donna, it's like it's actually, like, a huge part of his character. I like that Jenny contrasts Tennant's dad shock, as Donna calls it. She's perfectly paired with this. Georgia Tennant Davison, great actor.
It's gonna be totally weird whenever David Tennant's kid watches Doctor Who, because they're gonna be like,
right?
Yeah,
Mum?
Oh goodness.
Huh?
But what? Huh?
Yeah, nah. Honestly, I can't imagine. But yeah, those two are so great. You know, I saw Livy shared like a TikTok or something of them recently. Like Georgia was like filming them going to a new like grocery store, and David was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, I saw that one. I saw that.
It was so funny. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I just think like the way that every scene just progresses and changes the relationship with Jenny and the Doctor, and it's like they're still both kind of deciding like what they think of each other, and it's like she's got this real like childlike, you know, cheerfulness that really contrasts kind of like, you know, Ten's knowingness, and I don't know, it's great. And like her death is so tragic, but the fact that they used the Source to bring her back to life was just like really clever. Although it's so tragic that we never got to see Jenny again.
Yeah, it annoys me that they should have done something like that.
They used the Source to bring her back to life.
Yeah, I mean that's what's implied, I think.
Or
it's regeneration.
Yeah, 'cause she flies off at the end.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was her just, you know, partial regeneration, you know, abilities. You know, not, you know, regenerating a new face, but, you know, being able to revive oneself.
It's weird because what we don't really see what happens, but it's like she gets shot by a gun and just dies in his arms because she doesn't regenerate in the moment, and it's like seeing the Doctor almost pushed to the limit of like killing someone again with like holding the gun against that guy's head, and the whole man who never would speech, that was intense. That was wow. And I like that both Donna and Martha were there to see it, because you really wonder like, is he gonna do it? No way. But then she's just kind of lying somewhere later on, and she breathes out this like gas, and to me it looked less like Archon energy and more like the stuff that came from the Source. Because it is supposed to be regenerative, and I don't know, that makes more sense to me than, because then it explains why she didn't regenerate immediately or why she doesn't change her face or anything. But yeah, maybe it's just my theory.
Maybe I don't. I thought it was regeneration.
But yeah, maybe it's both.
You know, if you want to see more, well, if you want to see more of Jenny, there's a big Finnish audio drama with Jenny, I believe.
Of course there is. I never listen to these things. I really should. But yeah, sorry, go on.
In terms of my tier list, I did put it in A originally, but it's been a while since then.
Yeah, I'd probably give this one B. I think this is like I don't know.
I posted my tier list in collaboration.
It's a really good episode still, but it's got some weaknesses. Like, they don't completely waste any characters, but it's like Martha doesn't really do much. Like, she fixes one of the Hath's legs to gain their trust, and then like she seriously overreacts to like one of them dying when they try going across the surface, and it's so strange to me. Because it's like she's hardened to the tragedy by now. Like, why is she acting like this to someone she barely knows?
I felt that a little bit cringe and, you know, a little bit overdone. Like, it was kind of unbelievable, to be honest.
It took me out of the episode. And also, like, she has a conversation with it, but it's like they don't speak English and we don't hear the TARDIS translating. It's like, how are they having a conversation? It's really strange, and it just seems like a bit overlooked.
Yeah.
But yeah. But man, I like with Sally Sparrow. It's a real shame we never got to see Jenny return. Like, they couldn't have done that in series 5 or 6. Like, man, it's a shame. But like the symbolism of like, you know, hope and rebirth, surviving all the odds here is great. I give it like, yeah, I don't know. Like, parts of it were kind of mediocre, to be honest. It had some issues, but I give it good. I can't just put everything in S tier, so I gotta put some lower.
I literally put half of series 4 in S tier.
Right, like that's me, but like I'm trying not to do that for once. If there's nothing else we got to say, we can move on to the next episode.
I think someone wanted to say something.
Sorry.
Yeah, like I think that at the time I put it in A, but I'd probably need to rewatch it again. Because a lot of the Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi stuff, I think, would make it probably drop it to B.
Yeah. Kind of depends, because like a lot of people thought the show got worse after Russell T and Tennant left.
Nah.
No, well, in places it kind of.
I think it changed, but I don't know if it's
quality,
necessarily worse. You know?
I wouldn't say
What if it is
overall
different?
it's worse. I think in some places it did, degrade in quality, but in other places it increased in quality.
I mean,
Yeah.
it depends what season we're talking, really, because, like, this is a hot take, but in my opinion, Season 3, from, like, Seasons 1 to 9, Season 3 was the worst.
Really? 3?
Yeah.
Season 6
Yeah.
is right there. It's right there, man. What the fuck?
I'm gonna,
Not
I'm,
that, man.
I'm,
Series
I'm gonna have to
2,
rewatch
my guy. Series 2 was worse than 3. There's so many
sorry,
filler
I have
episodes.
to.
No,
I have
no,
to.
no.
I have to back up Swim here. I do think Series 2 is better than Series 3. I'm sorry.
Bro, you think Series 3 is the worst?
Yeah,
The
like,
weakest of
finale
the
was
Russell
so
T
mid.
Davies era.
Bro, you've got Daleks Manhattan, Evolution of the Daleks, okay. You got Martha's
That- I
character
thought that
arc.
one-
You've got the Return of the Master. God, what else? I mean, there's
Missy's
nothing
got-
I disliked about it other than 42, which was just mediocre. Like,
I have to
Family
say
of
here,
Blood,
okay, so I wanna point out
Blink.
Human Nature, Family of Blood, and Blink are all severely overrated. Like I do not give them anything higher than A.
Blink, I like
And-
Not
and
oh.
the
overrated.
and the final
That's
episode of Series 3, Last of the Time Lords, is
So mid.
by far the weakest finale of the Russell T Davies finale.
Why,
Like,
It's
though?
not just Russell T Davies, it is
I'm
the...
just not really interested. Like
You guys weren't here when I did the tier list ranking. I had no one to talk to about it. What's so mid about it though? I'm trying to remember. Like,
it's the resolve, like the Doctor just becoming a god and
yeah,
overpowering
actually,
the Master
yeah,
like
that was a bit contrived. Through the power of prayer. I don't know. I thought, yeah, that's definitely a bit contrived.
You know
I-
what I'm about to say.
The thing I hate with it is that goofy little 900-year-old Doctor. Why does
Yeah, I don't
he
know
exist?
why he becomes tiny, but I thought it was cool. It really like having
No, I
this
hate
whole
it.
year
It
where he becomes a
it doesn't-
prisoner.
It does
like
not look
high
good,
stakes.
honestly.
It's
like,
so good
I
for
know-
Martha's character though.
I know it got, like, resolved, but I hate the fact that a whole
ever
year
happened
went
at all.
by, and then it just didn't happen. It's just not good.
Well,
Yeah,
we
that never
don't
was.
talk about how no one acknowledges that the Earth got transported across the universe one time. You know.
Oh yeah, that apparently that was
Doctor's not
apparently the
consistent
memory,
with this kind of thing.
the memories of that everyone's memories of the Earth being traveled halfway across the galaxy. That was all undone with the crack in time or something.
Yeah, 'cause
I
Amelia
think
Bond didn't
that's
even
how it
re-
works.
realise that the Daleks existed.
It was it's weird. But anyways, shall we move on to Unicorn and the Wasp? God, I'm sorry.
Oh,
time is ticking.
I love this episode. This is probably my favorite single part episode in the series.
Yeah, what
Nah,
do
it's
we,
got to
what do
be
we think?
Midnight for me.
Oh,
I
aside from Midnight, yeah,
Wasp.
Midnight is absolutely top tier, but Unicorn and the Wasp
can't
is the
believe I
second.
put it A originally.
Yeah, you told me in that Midnight was in S T. You moved it up, and I responded with, "You didn't put Midnight in S. Dies of cringe."
Yeah,
Yeah, I swapped it with Turn Left.
yeah,
But yeah, I'd say
So-
Unicorn and the Wasp is like low A for me.
that's weird.
Maybe
yeah,
it's just like the theme of the episode, a murder mystery. I love those kinds of things.
so
Fair enough.
in my notes here it says this episode is way better than I remember. #! Hyphen. Oop, just sneezed. And again, wow. Okay, so UNW is a banger. Yeah, honestly, this didn't remember this much about this episode, and it was way better than I expected when I watched it because, I mean, it's a whodunit with an alien twist, which is like textbook Doctor Who.
I don't know if this episode was ruined or enhanced by as much Among Us as I have played.
Oh no! Every time someone says a whodunit or murder mystery, it's like Among Us. Yeah.
Also, you ranked the Damned on this.
Will I what?
Are you ranking Voyage of the Damned on this? It was the Christmas special.
Oh no, that was
No, we
was
did that last
in
time.
Series 3 because for
Oh.
some reason because for some reason he ranks the Christmas, because of how BBC iPlayer formats, the Christmas specials, it puts
The
them in the
Netflix
series that
one
came
as well.
before.
I do the
Yeah, the
first
Netflix format-
Christmas special with the first series because it's the first Christmas special.
It
So,
doesn't
yeah.
make sense because on the DVD
Yeah, it
releases
does.
and the Netflix releases, it groups those Christmas specials with the series that come afterwards.
And David Tennant is literally in that one.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. It's no big deal, guys. Like, I just thought it'd be nice to finish, with the end of the year, Christmas.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Anyway,
what else, guys? Like, I mean, I just thought it was really sublime. Everything was introduced.
I really like how they incorporated a historical figure into this episode in the form of Agatha Christie.
Yeah, I forget the actor's name. Fenella Woolgar. She's excellent. Really does a good job of making this episode count on the historical side. Yeah, pacing and the plot was great. Exposition was handled nicely.
I just remembered in one of the I think it was a series 12 episode. This episode gets called back to by the 13th Doctor. Oh, talking of wasps, did I ever tell you about Agatha Christie?
Wow.
Rare 13th W.
Yeah. There's a lot of thematic stuff as well. Like this isn't just an interesting and kind of complex narrative with all these characters and stuff. It's there's this running gag of the chair with the memory sequences, and every character is hiding something. They're all lying because it's about this thing of Britishness and carrying on and kind of not talking about things.
I was in my study.
He's just a flashback then a flashback. I love that. Oh man.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And yeah, the I think Lady Edison especially had some great dialogue, and the way it's culturally impactful to British people specifically is unique. I've not seen that much. Also, Felicity
British
Jones was
money.
in this, and her accents are so good.
Who? Sorry, who was in it?
Felicity Jones.
Yeah, I thought so. Who did she play?
She's the unicorn.
Oh, Robina Redmond.
Yeah, that was it. Well, she's not actually Rubina Redmond. That's her alias.
Yeah, an imposter.
She was the imposter, guys.
She's a shapeshifter.
But yeah, any good murder mystery, it's a good amount of misdirection. The way the Reverend's hidden in plain sight the whole time is amazing. He's literally one of the first characters on screen, but it's he's always so passive and in the background you never take notice of him. So it's you never even suspect him.
Also, because he mentioned earlier that he's. I think he mentioned earlier in the episode that he has a church or whatever it was. Yeah.
He's weirdly disarming and innocent. But the surprise reveal is great, and I wonder if someone could figure out that he was the best performer on a first watch, because I think there is enough clues, but I don't know if you could say for sure with the evidence that's presented, but it's pretty good. Just got Donna being the one to drown the wasp.
Did you know David Tennant's dad actually appears in this episode?
No, really?
Yeah,
Who's his
I
dad?
think he's one of. I think he plays one of the butlers. I think so. I think that's what it was. They uploaded a Doctor Who Confidential a few months back about David Tennant's dad appearing in the episode.
I gotta look this up. David Tennant's dad?
Just to go to the Doctor Who YouTube channel. The Doctor Who YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Doctor Who Confidential. I shall send it if I can find it.
Send it to me. Apparently he's dead. Oh, I'm getting a phone call, guys.
Subscribe.
I gotta go AFK. I'll be right back.
Alright.
Alrighty. Where's that?
Yeah, a cameo from David Tennant's dad.
Damn.
Right, here we go. Collaboration. There.
I'll take a look at that and say,
He literally just sounds pretty much like David.
pardon?
He pretty much just sounds like David.
Yeah, and he's just dead. Damn, he actually was in it. Okay.
Oh yeah, and he still has the maiden name because you know David Tennant's last name isn't actually David Tennant. David Tennant's last name isn't actually Tennant.
Wait, is it not?
No, because when he first went into the acting industry, no two people were allowed to have the last name, and someone already had the name McDonald. His real name is David McDonald, so he just had to find a last name to use. So he just found Tennant, and there we are today.
I see. Okay. Oh yeah, didn't you say the chase bloopers are on at the moment?
A few days ago they were on live TV.
Oh, nice. I don't think I've watched them before.
They were on around the time when Lingo or Tenable would be on.
Oh,
Which I don't mind. I
Which-
mean, Lingo and Tenable are both fun, but you know they
like
get kind
Tenable.
of boring. Yeah, I don't know which one I like most. I think I'd be way better on Lingo.
yeah. I don't really like Tipping Point.
I just bring you along to Lingo. We just try and win as much money as we can.
Just rock up to Lingo. To be fair, I was quite good at Wordle a while ago, so...
Hey, boys.
Hello. So we were just
Hello.
talking. We were just talking about the chase, and there was some bloopers that were on live a few days ago.
That's alright. I had to go AFK. I'm sorry. A bit of a mess this evening.
So David Tennant's dad does actually appear in the Unicorn and the Wasp. He's the butler that's serving the tables near the beginning of the episode.
Yeah,
And,
I know what you mean.
Also, I don't know if you know this, but David Tennant's last name isn't actually Tennant.
Oh, it's like a stage name.
Yeah, because back when he first started acting, no two actors could have the same last name, and his real name is David McDonald, and someone already had that last name, so he just found a name in a name book, and here we are today.
Yeah.
I sent the video in the collaboration channel.
Thanks. I gotta look at this. Yeah, I forgot all about this. Go to Confidential.
Well, first of all, you got
So nostalgic.
I'm so glad Confidential is on BBC iPlayer now.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Of course, Professor Peach dies first.
Yeah, doesn't make it much fast. Doesn't make it much
Princess
further than the
Peach dies
titles.
first.
Princess Peach.
Yeah, no, yeah, Princess Peach, guys, that's who it is. Man, that's amazing. But anyways, back to the tier list. We're actually on decent pace here, despite being set back. But yeah, so Unicorn and the Wasp. Yeah, the only other things I'd say were like Agatha Christie being the centerpiece of the episode was just excellent because like it's clearly very well researched. The references, the exposition from the Doctor, and the crucial scenes, like in the ending, they build like a fairly realistic depiction of like who she was, and she still has like quite an active role in the plot, actually helping solve the murder mystery and sacrificing herself at the lake, or intending to. And the backstory of the Firestone and how it ended up causing amnesia was like pretty clever. Like how it like they end with her like going missing, because like I read about the real life thing on Wikipedia. And it's interesting. She literally went missing for like a week, and nobody knows how. Like it's actually mental.
Damn.
And it's like in Breaking Bad. Like she had a fugue state. It was weird. Except that fugue state was fake. But
Jesse,
yeah.
You're an author and you had a fugue state.
Jesse, we need to strip and wander into Walmart, Jesse.
I watched a video earlier today. If Walter White was charged for his crimes, I don't know if
Yeah,
you've
I
seen
saw
that.
that. It's like,
Where-
it's
yeah,
like
where-
500 years.
Yeah, and they also did one for Jesse as well.
His were nowhere near as bad.
mean,
Jesse's bad ones are like just obstructing dead bodies.
Yeah.
Bruh. Yeah, but anyway, I don't, like, my only criticism, like I said, like, there's a lack of information to the mystery and, like, the whole Vesperform backstory. I don't know, it's kind of like a satisfying conclusion. It does skip over things, and there's, like, sci-fi BS, but, like, not in a way that actually has plot holes. The scene of the Doctor being poisoned and then going to the kitchen to try and, like, unpoison was really cringy. Like, I just thought it was such a bizarre scene in terms of tone.
I guess I'm
like,
the only one that actually.
It's like the writers just really want all of the Doctor's companions to kiss him. Like they just can't. Like, man, it must have been hard writing that with one hand. But like, jeez, I don't know. I still give the episode S tier. I think.
At least
I
with
gotta
Donna,
decide,
it was
man. This is
at least with Donna, it was just a one and done deal, never to be seen or heard from again.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of the point. Like, it highlights like.
Yeah, because it was a total shock to the Doctor, because he knew he knew that Donna only had platonic feelings for him.
He knew that unspoken riz wasn't working. Anyway, all right, science in the library then. Let's move on. Yeah, man, this is one of my favorites.
I put both parts in S tier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
It's like Frost the Dead is one of the first episodes that genuinely scares me. Like, I still. Oh my gosh, it's weird. Like, it scares me more than it should, probably just because of...
It's the first in the saga of many episodes of River Song.
Yes. So...
And the funniest thing is, it's like the last...
It's her last time seeing him. Well, actually, no, it's her second last time seeing him.
Yeah, it depends.
When was the last time?
Timelines are weird.
The name of the Doctor, that actually comes... in her timeline, that's actually after the Library two-parter.
Oh, what, when she's, like, in the hologram?
In the hologram, yeah, she does actually mention the library in that episode.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah,
so the last three episodes in order are the Husbands of River Song, the Library two-parter, and then the Name of the Doctor.
Yeah. But yeah, this one is excellent. Like, the premise and setup for part 1 is excellent. I love the concept of the library. Just like a planet that's a library is so cool. The Vash and Narada are very gradually introduced, and it's perfect. It really builds up the tension. The cow plotline's really strange, and it's good that they didn't introduce that too late, because that would have made it really a bit awkward, I think. Cinematography, soundtrack, it's really stylish. Like, it really enhances the storytelling. I only noticed a lot of the musical cues and the kind of... Even though they CGI'd, like, the library, it's a step up from, like, Series 2, I think, the CGI. I kind of think it's gradually improved, even on the BBC budget.
Oh, speaking of which, I can't wait to see what they do with Disney's budget. With the upcoming episodes. It's gonna be clean.
Yeah. They've got Disney budget for the production. I thought it was just Disney Plus. It was just streaming.
If there's one thing Disney's good at doing, Disney's good at, it's like quality.
Having money.
having money.
I'm pretty good at that, if I'm being honest. Just a little theory I have.
It's like the Mr. Krabs meme. Why did you decide to make these sequels to these Disney movies? Money.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, like, there's a lot of small details which really help this episode, like having the notes be introduced near the start, and the Doctor's kind of reluctant to tell Donna exactly what they are, because she's, freaked out. And then having Donna's face be on a note at the end was obviously really...
Oh yeah, that was
really eerie.
You know what? So you know that that message at the beginning of the episode, "Run, for God's sake, run."
Yeah. Oh, and the way they're just, like, completely deadpan saying it, it's like...
I imagine if the TARDIS were not there, because the TARDIS filters out, bad words. I imagine it would be a lot more mature message.
You know what? I forgot about that completely. This is why Doctor Who's not R-rated.
Sake, run.
Yeah, if the TARDIS didn't have an R-rated filter, like PG-13 filter.
And I imagine if the TARDIS didn't have that, Donna would be dropping a few F-bombs every now and then.
Oh yeah, Donna swears. When you do a tier list of Doctor Who characters, has sworn previously, swears repeatedly. You legally cannot swear.
If that didn't have the filter, that would have been very awkward in season 6. And half of 5.
What happens in series 6? I've forgotten.
Amy and Rory live together on the TARDIS.
Hey yo.
Oh no.
TARDIS be on something.
But yeah, I also think this is actually one of like the best River Song episodes. Like, very mysterious premise, and there's like loads of subtle nods to her future. You've got her like sonic screwdriver, the improvements, the TARDIS notebook. She knows about Donna. She knows about Emergency Protocol 1. There's like a bunch of different like things. And it actually like strikes at the Doctor's like character and kind of like, you know, his dispositions of time travel in a way that like you just don't really see anywhere else. The trope of a spacesuited crew gradually get killed off in Doctor Who episodes, you'd think it had been overused by now, but these ones are actually like memorable enough to serve the plot as well. Like Mrs. Evangelina's way more important than you think, and I like that she's, you know, kind of consistently like, you know, like ignored until like, you know, something happens and they like kind of realize how serious it is.
She
also introduces the ghosting devices.
She has more importance than any of them give her credit for.
Yeah. And like it's a really somber character moment for Donna as well, because it's like she's the one that when the ghosting device is going off, she's the one that is referenced, and it's like the last person.
She's the one that reacts most emotionally. Because
like she actually respected her while she was alive, and then like proper Dave getting eaten in the suit and like turned into like a puppet.
Oh god, you can never get that line out of your head now. Hey, who turned out the lights?
Right, like that is ingrained in me.
Even cropped up in that Doctor Who FNAF fan game you played a while back.
Oh my god, it did. Yeah, that's how iconic. Proper Dave, guys. This is why he's Proper Dave. It's of other Dave. Oh man. But yeah, my summary is that like this episode had just the right amount of adventure, joy, drama, and weirdness to pass for a good old Doctor Who episode, but it was also pretty scary, with another great Moffat adaptation of an everyday thing, in this case shadows, into a nightmarish monster. And it's like, I legitimately would not change a thing. So, we'll talk about Forest of the Dead if you guys want to move on. I mean, like...
Also SD.
Just the fact that they're able to, you know, control... It's a swarm in a suit, but it's learning.
Yeah, the way it gradually learns in Forest of the Dead as well, like, they learn how to, like, imitate voices. It's creepy. And it ups the stakes a bit. Like, you get a deeper exploration of the Doctor's relationship with River Song, since, you know, Donna's out of the picture, which gives you more insight into kind of like the Cal like side of the plot. The dialogue is outstanding. Like it's complex and emotional, and it's like it actually is one of those things that literally has more resonance as it's aged, because we've gotten these like newer stories that connect with it, and it's. I would love to watch the River Song stories in the order that they were chronologically for River. I think that'd be a really interesting way to watch it.
Do you know the order that they happen chronologically? Because I don't actually know.
It's basically in reverse. There's a few exceptions.
I think I know how they happen. But it's like really complicated.
I only know the last three
There's a graphic in one of the Doctor Who annuals I have. There's a graphic.
I know the first
which just shows
the first
it's
one
like
is
basically opposite.
Let's Kill Hitler.
One is,
yeah.
I think it's technically the Impossible Astronaut, because like there's a scene at the end where you see like her as a kid regenerate.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but that wasn't that. She didn't meet the Doctor, and we had a version of River Song in that episode to begin with. So I don't know if I'd really call that like her first proper appearance.
If it was, then it'd be Let's Kill Hitler.
Yeah, Let's Kill Hitler would be.
You basically start there, you go in reverse, and then you know you get Name of the Doctor after the library, and before that you get the Christmas one with Capaldi. I forget the name of.
Husbands of River Song.
That was
I quite like that episode.
Yeah.
But
so anyway.
Livy won't be able to come back, but she has posted a tier list.
Oh no, she's not coming back at all. That's a shame. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate, but we got her tier list, and I'm gonna show it on the stream at the end. We'll talk all about that. That's really cool. But yeah, just Forest of the Dead. The last things I wanted to say was literally good things all around: music, cinematography, even CGI. And with the writing, I like how no characters are wasted. So other Dave like starts ghosting, and it's like a moment of like, did you notice?
Go, Doctor.
Hey, who turned on the lights?
Yeah, if you pick up pick up on the speech pattern of the not the speech pattern, but like the ghosting, you'll realize immediately something's wrong.
Yeah, I noticed when I was watching. I was like, oh yeah, but like Anita, like having light turned off so that they don't get her, and then it's like you don't know how long she's actually been dead for.
Yeah,
that whole reveal was such a clever twist. Like actually showing how they're like learning, and
also
I like that Lux wasn't actually this arrogant, greedy businessman with like the papers and stuff. He was actually just a dedicated family member trying to honor his legacy and protect a child. Like that was such a nice twist that makes you see him in a different light.
I think your opinion can shift in just that moment.
Because like it seems obvious that he's one way when it's like actually a completely different like context.
Pretend
really
to be one way when
justifies
you are
his
really the
character.
other.
Yeah, but it's like he's not just like got weird personality quirks. Like every little thing from part 1 actually had a reason that was legitimately driven by this one central kind of character objective of like saving Cal, which was I don't know, that was clever.
And just this whole thing between the real world and the fake world throughout the entire 2-parter. It's just I like that.
God, yeah.
Oh yeah, Matt. I should ask, like, with your tiers, is like the GOAT tier like S plus and then fantastic?
Yeah,
S, good,
I'm holding off putting anything into S tier yet because I want to be as selective as possible because everything would be an S tier right now. But yeah,
I think one's still listening in a nutshell.
The whole the kind of dream world it genuinely feels like coming out of a nightmare. Getting to the end of this episode. Because when Donna like leaves that world and it's like the weird time dilation, the creepy things going on, that was such a bittersweet thing. And I like how there's an extra few minutes of the Doctor saving River and thinking, I had all that time, what would I do? And then he like figures out the ghosting thing like, just in time.
Future me had all this years to think about it. And all I had to do was give her a screwdriver. Why would I do that?
And it's like it's not just like a random thing that he's magically able to save with. It's specifically a thing that's been established throughout the story, which logically his future self would do, so that his past self would be able to figure it out quickly. It's just and then the finger snap opening the TARDIS doors and just a little. Even the Beryllium's reference in this story.
Oh yeah,
actually followed that up.
The last time I saw you, the real you, you showed up on my doorstep with a new haircut and a suit. You took me to Beryllium.
Dude, why are you able to quote this exactly? You're just like my brother Joe. It's uncanny.
Swim, you wanted to say something?
If you thought my midnight rank before was mad, you've not seen Livy's yet.
What did she rank it? What did she rank it?
Like B.
Damn.
Oh yeah, she did. Yeah. I want to judge her too harshly because I think this is her first viewing of these episodes.
Really?
Oh, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I think she's seen some Doctor Who, but not like the majority of it. That's why I chose to rewatch it with her, so she can have the opportunity to join these ranking streams.
The only other thing, like I tried thinking of a criticism for Forest of the Dead. I was like, the Doctor never got to interact with Dr. Moon, missed opportunity. But like, man. I got to start putting stuff in S tier because like it's really hard to pick. I think my favorite part of this episode is when the Doctor confronts the Vashnarada taking over. Anita. I'm the Doctor and you're in the biggest library in the universe. Look me up, and they look him up. Yeah, they literally look him up. They search and they're like, oh shit, that was great.
That gives me the Christmas Invasion vibes.
Oh my god, yeah, because there's. I'm trying to remember the scene. Is it after he's regenerated and he's like when he actually walks out the TARDIS in the end?
And he's just absolutely destroying that guy.
I love the sword fight they have. Because that's actually really, really important to the overall story, like the hand of the jar. It's there for like his whole run.
Yeah, the hand of the jar. The Sycorax is responsible for pretty much everything, the entire outcome of Series 4.
Right? Like, if he hadn't got his hand cut off in the first 12 hours, like, that could have been a problem down the line.
Actually, it's the first 15 hours.
Is it 15? Actually, it's 15. Thank you.
Because quite by chance,
I don't remember.
I'm still in the first 15 hours of my regeneration cycle, which gives me just enough residual cellular energy to do this.
Absolute mad lad. Anyway, do you Midnight guys, S tier?
Oh, Midnight is peak.
S tier again. What isn't in S tier? That's the problem. Like, I have to put everything in S tier, but I can't do that.
I think the majority of like the first half of Series 4 is probably the stuff that's not in S tier.
Yeah, I don't know.
It it starts off slow but gets gradually
I
stronger.
think Partners in Crime, Fires, Pompeii, and Planet of the Youth, like, objectively, critically, I can't really think of much I would really change about them, but they don't have that, like, feeling and excitement that some of the later episodes do. Like, I don't feel like rewatching them that much, because I think they have to kind of go through the motions a bit. I don't know.
Just for context, when these episodes first aired, every episode from Silence in the Library all the way up to Turn Left, all 5 of those episodes, back to back, all got a 10 out of 10 rating.
Whoa,
Sorry,
wait. Science Library, Forest of the Dead, Midnight Turn Left. Stolen
Wait, no,
Sorry,
wait. Silence in the Library, Forest of the Dead, Midnight Turn Left, and The Stolen Earth, sorry.
Journey's End didn't get a 10 out of 10?
No, because it was kind of all over the place. People didn't really like how it turned out as much as The
Journey's
Stolen
End a
Earth.
10 out of 10?
I think it was just the general critics. I think.
What are
Is
they
this on,
on?
like, Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb? Or something? Or whatever the...
I don't remember. I don't remember where it was from, but I've heard from multiple sources that those 5 episodes all got 10 out of 10 back to back.
That's amazing. Honestly, it's hard to disagree. Let's talk about it, guys. Midnight, okay? Why is Midnight actually, like, perfect?
Well,
One thing I really like about Midnight...
First of all, it's a bottle episode. It all takes place in just this condensed cabin-like thing.
Yeah, I think that's a challenge for a writer. I think you can do some really good stuff with it.
Yeah.
One thing I like about Midnight is it's like a taster to the Doctor being alone on his adventures.
Yeah. Not even no TARDIS, no companion, nothing. He's just on his own.
Thing is, it's basically like the season 4 specials, but better.
Yeah. In a way, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Doctor in these situations, the Doctor's biggest power, his voice, his commanding, voice, his commanding nature usually takes over the group that he's with. But this time it fails him because the people are scared in their situation, so they immediately they start trusting him less and less. Yes.
Yeah, like in my notes, like I said, that Midnight utilizes its limitations to its advantage. It gives us this like escalation, and it's paced pretty good. But I do like how it challenges the Doctor and actually puts him in such a weak position compared to the usual. And it's like Donna had to be taken out of the story in order for that group conflict to happen. Otherwise, like the ending wouldn't have happened.
Donna would have stopped every single one of them from doing anything to him.
Literally, should have stopped it way earlier.
I literally asked this in the Doctor Who subreddit. What would have happened if Donna went with the Doctor on the Crusader 50 in the episode?
She would have been like, human, Earth girl, stop it, like... It would have been, like, over in seconds. It would have been she would have scared off the, Well, that's the thing. Like, this, to me, is almost like looking at a horror story. Like a Fazbear Fright story compared to something we've done on the channel.
Oh my god,
it's actually a proper horror story, and it's standalone, and it's like, the unknown fact is really good.
I just remembered something you did a few weeks ago when I released my first face cam video. You compared Jethro to me.
I did, yeah. I was like, it's literally him, guys. He looks like Jethro, guys, factually. I'm just saying.
Not look like Jethro. I mean, I may behave like Jethro.
No, you don't. You don't actually. It's very, very vague, but, like, I couldn't help but see it. But, yeah, like, this episode is compelling, right? Because it has this unsolved mystery that keeps you thinking. And it examines the human condition. It puts different kinds of individuals just in a room and sees how they respond to increasing stress and fear. And it's like it does like a bit of time skipping to cover like the first like 4 hours of them like getting to know each other and all of like their personality traits and stuff, which is pretty good. And then it's like we see how everyone kind of turns on the Doctor because of his like mysterious disposition and his kind of glee.
And because he literally knows everything.
And it's like they actually, it really examines the Doctor's character flaws and why he needs to have companions, because on his own, he kind of isolates himself socially in a way that is just damaging for everyone.
Yeah, that's why, like, that's like the only reason Waters on Mars is not, like, below B for me. Because it shows how, like, insane he goes when he's been alone for too long.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Waters of Mars was the closest he ever got to, being pushed beyond his limit.
Guys, there are books which are kind of like a timey-wimey thing where I think it got unwritten, but it kind of there's a version of that Doctor who just goes, it's kind of like full Heisenberg. It's the Time Lord Victorious books. There was two-parter, and it crosses over with the 8th and 9th Doctor. And he basically goes to war with like the universe, and it's just something mental.
That's what you would call the Time Lord Victorious Doctor. Full Heisenberg.
Because there was, I can't remember what they're called, but there's like these. He goes to like a really early point in the universe and discovers that like death was like created by like a genocidal species that like he has to go back in time and fight, and it's crazy. He's got like the full Time Lord like dress as well, with like the robes and the weird like headgear. It's on the cover. It looks really good.
There's also a Time Lord Victorious Big Finish audio drama as well.
Yeah, there's loads. I'm not explaining it well, but yeah, we get to see like that character pushed to the extreme. In
going
the story.
Going back to Midnight, I saw a post on Reddit. Someone had asked if it were any other Doctor in that situation, how would they handle it?
That's interesting, because it actually would be quite different between different Doctors. Yeah. Like, I think... I can
imagine Capaldi being really good in that sort of, like, setting.
You know what? Yeah, he probably wouldn't get thrown... If you think about episodes like Listen, I think he would figure it out a bit quicker.
It might depend which Capaldi, whether it's like Series 8, Series 9, Series 10, because he did change.
This would work very well.
I think Series 8 Capaldi would work really well with that.
Yeah, especially because that was like kind of like a dark era, and it's like all the self-doubt. I was just gonna say, like, this episode also, it's really impressive that it took the risk of having the Doctor be incapacitated. So it's like the main character's kind of removed in a way. It's really weird, and it really raises the stakes. And it shows the complexity of humanity. Because I like how every individual character has like a different response to everything in the story. The hostess is the one who initially suggested throwing someone out of the airlock. And she's the one who actually sacrifices herself to save everybody. And it's just like kind of remarkable.
I forgot about that.
Adds layers to the kind of show and tell thing. She's the last person in the flashback in Journey's End of all the people who've died in the Doctor's name. And that's why that one's stuck in my memory. Because she's also the only unnamed character in the episode. Nobody knew her name.
Yeah.
And it's so sad. But yeah, I like how the writing maintains a high standard as it finishes. Like, it resolves the plot, and it shows how badly it actually affected the Doctor, because he's like, don't do it.
Yeah, the ending of that was really good. But
in my review here, I actually did have some criticisms. I don't know if I give this S tier now that I'm looking at it, because I've forgotten what I said here. I feel like the episode could have spent a bit more time defining the other characters and giving them backstories, because it would add more weight to the ending, because you kind of only really know who they are at face value. Like Jethro and the family, like, there's a good amount of show and tell, but it's like, I wasn't that invested in most of them. The silence, like, when they're last in the vehicle, they're all just sitting there in silence for like 20 minutes. It speaks volumes, but I don't know, it feels like it could have done more, especially with exploring the consequences of like human settlement and consumerist tourism. And like, we actually, I don't know, I like that the thing that possesses Sky is like left a complete mystery. I actually did go back on the episode, by the way, and I tried to see the shadow that one of the co-pilots spotted moving. There's nothing there. It's a pure psychological game. But at the start of the episode, the co-pilot, he says he sees something like a shadow moving, like running towards the vehicle. But there's nothing actually there if you go back like frame by frame, at least that we can see. But I don't know, like this is a banger episode, but I don't think it's S tier now. I actually think I'll put it in A tier. I don't know, because I think it could have done a bit more with the side characters for this episode.
There's actually a bunch of interesting factoids about this episode. If I can find out where I got this info from, then I will share it with you. So first of all, actually, the son of the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton, he actually plays a professor in this episode.
No way! Really? He
is.
That's cool.
I think his name. I've found the video. So originally this was actually supposed to air before the library episode. This was supposed to be the 50th story of the Revival series, because It's referenced by the name of the ship Crusader 50.
That'd be so weird if I can't imagine this being before the library stuff. Wouldn't really impact anything, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. So Patrick's son David Troughton plays the professor in this episode, Professor Hobbs. He also actually appeared in during the classic era when Patrick Troughton was the Iggy Doctor.
Wait, really? How?
Yeah.
How old was he by then?
He was pretty old, I'm going to assume.
In Midnight, I'm guessing if he's Patrick Troughton's son.
He does look pretty old in that episode.
He must be in his 50s at least.
Yeah. Also, this episode was directed by someone called Alice Troughton, who actually has no relation to either of them.
Wow. Yeah, no, that happens. Multiple last names, it can happen. Interesting.
Crazy.
This episode was also converted into a screenplay or a stage play sometime after the episode.
Oh, you know, I can see that actually. This would totally work as a stage play.
Also, the actor who played Jethro, I don't remember his name. He went on to play Merlin, I believe, in the
Merlin TV show. Man, I haven't thought about that in years.
BBC TV show Merlin, yeah.
I don't know, that was like huge for a while. I never really watched it, but I'd forgotten all about that.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much all the factoids that I found.
Wow. Cool. Yeah.
Really
anyways, shall we move on? Turn left. We're actually way ahead of time. I think it's because I'm trying so hard to condense my notes. We're only like 2 hours in.
It's the beginning of the end.
I haven't rewatched the specials yet. I haven't rewatched the specials. I need to rewatch it.
The only special I've rewatched is The Next Doctor.
I think I must be the only one out of all of us who's actually seen it recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry man, it's been so long I don't remember them.
Therefore, my opinion is validated when I say The End of Time 2 is the best Doctor Who episode by miles.
Yeah, you had it in like its own tier on the list, didn't you?
Yeah.
S++.
Which, fair enough, like, it is excellent.
Tears were shed when watching this episode.
I will do the specials soon, like in a couple weeks, because it's going to be 3 Saturdays, this week, next week, the week after that. They're doing the 60th stuff with Tennant, so sometime before or after the third one, I'm going to do the specials.
I'm afraid to disappoint. I don't think I'm going to cry when David Tennant regenerates.
That's fine. There was no obligation, no expectation.
Mainly just because, you know, we know he comes back at this point.
Yeah, true.
I think this stream has been a lot shorter because I've tried to condense everything, and it's like a lot of what I have to say I've already said extensively with the first 3 series. Like, there's a lot of things which are just kind of maintained at a high standard throughout Doctor Who. Like, there's only specific episodes where stuff like the CGI or the cinematography or the soundtrack kind of drops. The soundtrack never drops. It just doesn't. Like, there's some episodes... This Series 4 has the best soundtrack. When I was re-listening to it on Spotify, I added every single track onto my playlist, which I haven't done for any other series.
I can't lie.
Really
I think the 12th Doctor had the best soundtrack out of them all.
I can't lie. The Shepherd's Boy is like near the top.
Yeah, man.
A Good Man is like so good.
Yeah, you guys know your stuff.
I think some of my top picks are I keep referring to it as the episode name. The Shepherd's Boy, I Am the Doctor, the Ninth Doctor's theme, Rose's theme.
Underrated.
What else? There's a few other bangers out there.
No, the 12th Doctor's
Martha's
theme,
theme,
really
The Doctor
good.
Forever. I got my playlist here. Where is it?
Any variant of All the Strange Creatures.
Yeah. Oh yes, All the Strange Creatures. Yes, it's one of the best.
Like the 12th Doctor's theme is probably my favourite of them all.
And honourable mention to Westminster Bridge.
Yes, dude. My family loves that one. Like, Westminster Bridge is also tracks we'd always listen to on the way to school when Tasha and I were like really young. Our dad would play in the car. It's great. Yeah, there's so many good ones.
I've got to hop off now.
Oh, really? Okay. I'll show off your full tier list at the end. Okay, cool. I think we'll be going for another hour. I don't mind ending this like well before 8. That just gives me more time.
Alright, see you.
So yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah. All right. So.
I was gonna say, I've got an Alexa in my kitchen, so what I was thinking while doing the washing up, I could just play like some epic Doctor Who music.
Yeah, man. Next time, yeah, do it. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's talk about Turn Left, because I actually want to go first on this one. Turn Left is something else.
It's the beginning of the final episode.
Yeah, it's almost like a 3-part finale. This one.
It is a 3-part. Russell can deny it all he wants, but this is a 3-parter.
Yeah. So, Turn Left. I remember this episode being incredibly bleak and eerie as a kid, and it has to be by far the most depressing episode of Doctor Who up to this point. Like, for me personally, nothing like... Midnight is a psychological horror, or has elements of that, but like, this is just tragic. This is scary to me the way I found Revenge of the Sith scary when I was like 8 years old, because that like haunted me. I don't know, it's not scary at all now, but yeah. See, what I've done in previous streams is actually read my notes word for word, which is so time consuming, so I'll just keep doing what I'm doing because I'm just saving everybody time. So it is kind of unpleasant to sit through because of how like dark it is, but you gotta appreciate it for what it is. It's an impressive episode. I love what-if scenarios. The premise is fascinating. And the way it threads a variety of series 2, 3, and 4 episodes into this dystopian, semi-apocalyptic world is really clever. Like, there's a lot of, like, you know, consideration for the world building with this story. It's all about tying things together.
I also love how the what-if scenario in this episode threads on something as severe as what it is. What if the Doctor died? Right?
And it's like, it ties into Donna's character in a really deep way as well. Like, it's specifically with, starting from A Runaway Bride. So...
Yeah. It also shows us that the Doctor isn't actually immortal. You know, he can die, which is a scenario that we don't see that often.
Yeah, and it's like, again, they... like explain it really well. It's like, oh, you know, it's too quickly for him to regenerate, because this is also something we literally saw in series 6. Like, if you interrupt regeneration, you can actually kill a Time Lord, which is probably what the Daleks
or if Tennant and Capaldi's Doctors did, if you can hold it off long enough, then that will probably kill them as well.
Oh yeah, the Master did that in series 3 as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did that as well. And, you know, the 10th and 12th Doctors were holding off their regeneration energies for so long, so much so to the point that they literally blew up their TARDISes.
Yeah.
But I'm not completely aware of how long Capaldi held off his regeneration, because I don't know when I've seen that scene where he got shot by the Cybermen, the Mondasian Cybermen, I think it was.
It's been so long since I watched that. I'd have to watch it.
He held off the regeneration for so long. Like, how long?
He's just built different, alright? Listen, after Time of the Doctor, regeneration can be written off as it's different now because it was granted by the Time Lords.
Yeah, like
magic bullshit.
we still don't know how many regenerations he was granted. Like,
exactly. No, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, does he still have the standard 12? Does he have infinite regenerations?
I hope they never explain that. It doesn't need to be explained. Just whatever suits the next showrunner or writer.
You know, we're going to be old boomers by the time the 100th anniversary rolls around.
Dude, don't even go there. I can't begin to imagine what that's going to be like. Anyway, so another thing I want to point out about Turn Left that's really impressive, really good, is the kind of social political commentary. It's pretty strong this time because we go from this kind of like, you know, darker twist where like familiar characters like Martha Jones and Sarah Jane are mentioned in passing to have died, and we end up with literally a dystopian, semi-apocalyptic, you know, totalitarian regime. You know, the Rocco Colasanto subplot, the like Italian guy who's in the house, and it's like they're all refugees who have to be squeezed into a house, and then they start deporting the non-English people. And it's like Wilf is crying because he, you know, lived through World War II and he knows what's going on, and Donna doesn't. It was just, that was shocking, man. Like, the fact they managed to actually do that with a show for all ages was impressive, because it's all show not tell, and it's like they don't explicitly go into the fact that, yeah, they have concentration camps now, and this is kind of like a fascist regime, but it's like, it's this close, and it's really disturbing, because if you don't know, it feels wrong and it's scary because you don't know why. And if you do know, it's like, holy shit, that is dark. And I don't know, it's one of those kind of situations where it's both scary whether or not you know.
I think the closest comparison I can make it to is a movie I haven't seen in ages, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I've watched it. I've also read it. We studied it in English in year 6.
It was the first... When I first watched it, it was the first time that I'd watched a movie with a sad ending. I was like, wait, this movie doesn't have a happy ending. What's going on?
Yeah, because, like, it's... Just by nature, it's satisfying to have a happy ending, which is why most media does. But, you know, sometimes it's interesting to explore for whatever reason. And yeah, Boy in the Striped Pajamas is... Yeah, it's a disturbing story based on, like, real...
It's an incredible movie, but...
Real events. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say the movie is on par with quality with the book from what I remember, but,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard a lot of people crap on it. Well, my parents, really, they really don't like it, but I don't know if that's just because they don't like... It's the premise, or if it's an actual problem with the writing. I don't remember. It's been so long. I thought it was fine. I mean, it was important. But yeah, but like, it doesn't feel contrived or unrealistic is the thing. Like, there really is this gradual build up, and you see, you know, each event, each absence of the Doctor just drives England further and further into this just insane situation. And it's like, I think the tone really switched up after the Titanic crashed and, like, they got sent to Leeds. Like, that was, for me, was, like, the biggest turning point of, like, oh my god. Because, I mean, like, yeah, having the entirety of London become, like, a radioactive, like, you know, hole is just, it's just scary. And then it's like, America will save us, and then it's like, you know, the Sontaran stratagem happens, and it's like, way more people die, and torture have to sacrifice themselves.
It's revealed that Miss Foster went to America to get the adipose instead of England.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I forget which bit's tied to which episode, but yeah, it was crazy.
They were also apparently there was some cut scenes, you know, like plot points from past series. One of them was unit agents were supposed to go back in time and stop the Carrier Knights from attacking from the Shakespeare Code.
Oh yeah, because that would be another thing unexplained, right? Because it's from after the Doctor would die in this timeline.
They had to cut it for time restraints.
Yeah. Also, you can always write things off as it being a different universe where maybe that didn't happen, or maybe, you know, that did happen, but just off camera. Because there's other stories which they don't address, I think.
There's a bunch,
Like, stuff like 42 would be completely inconsequential, like, if that, whatever happened there would not be known.
Because the Doctor never lands there, the fate is sealed for the people that were there.
But of course there are some things which are rightfully not included, because obviously if, you know, the Doctor never ends up in Cardiff being Captain Jack, they never go back to, you know, 100 trillion and go to Utopia, so the Master just never goes back to Earth, like he's just there at the end of the universe.
When the person in the tank fires the cannon at the Ratcas's web in the sky, he's never mentioned. Saxon is never mentioned. They
cut out that line, it's a subtle detail of, like, how things are different.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's really clever how it threads all those details.
Going back from on labour camps, it's a really nice touch because Bernard Cribbins, the actor who plays Wilfred Mott, he actually was a World War II fighter.
Oh yeah, was he? Of course, I knew he would have been old enough to live to that time. But yeah,
and you know Wilf actually mentions, you know, something about Palestine and the wars in The End of Time Part 2.
Holy shit! I need to rewatch that.
When he and the Doctor are just having a moment alone, looking over Earth, and the Doctor, you know, they have a moment of solace, and you know, the Doctor can finally relate. The Doctor can relate to him. I love that. They're
both old soldiers. Yeah, no, I love Wilf's kind of character arc in that. He almost becomes like the main companion, really.
They're both war-hardened veterans.
Excellent. Yeah, and it's like they're both, you know, kind of pacifists. Like, they want to just kind of... They're very reluctant to kill, because, like, Wilf, like, never fired a bullet, I think, or something.
They've kept Wilf hidden from, like, pretty much every teaser for the 60th anniversary, so I'm wondering how he's going to play into those.
Yeah, apparently that was his Bernard Cribbins' final role.
That was his final. It's going to be his final role.
He's
'cause
probably
he
only
passed
going to
away
have
short-
like 1 or 2
Yeah.
scenes because they didn't get to finish filming it all. Probably, I don't know. Maybe that's why.
I think they just managed to film everything before his passing, so it's possible he could have a larger role than we think.
But I guess we'll find out. I'm so looking forward to it. It's going to be absolutely great.
Yeah.
Really nostalgic for Series 4. But anyway, turn left. There's more things to talk about. Yeah.
Hang on, before we continue, you know how Tom was just getting started on Doctor Who?
Oh,
Tom
yes.
from NX. Yeah.
Yes.
He asks right now, Doctor Who fans, do you think Rose to Martha is a companion downgrade? I'm just not feeling her at all. I've nearly finished Series 3.
Oh. No. I mean, I like them both equally. I don't really have any favorites. Like, I think Series 3 is a better series than Series 2, but it's like Rose as a character is just as good as Martha. Like, none of the companions sucked. I never had a problem with any of the long-time companions.
None of the companions really.
Not from that era,
bad.
at least. Like, Donna,
From
Rose,
that,
and Martha are all brilliant in their own right.
The trio of companions, the Holy Trinity.
But like even like Jack and Mickey and I don't know, they're all great. But yeah, so turn left, right. The other major thing aside from all of that is 2 things: Rose's return,
Rose
which is a highlight because it's been like foreshadowed. She was on a monitor in midnight. There's like all these things building up.
She appeared at the end of Partners in Crime, which was like a major shock to like everyone when that first.
Yeah, everyone was freaking out. That was insane. And then she like fades away. It's crazy.
She popped up on the monitors in the Poison Sky. She popped up on the monitors in Turn Left. Midnight. And
it's always like just out of the Doctor's view or something like that.
It's
crazy. We see her like kind of reaching through time. And
in the Planet of the Ood near the end of the episode when Ood Sigma, I think it was, mentioned something about the Dr. Donna, you can hear the Doctor's theme from the earlier seasons playing.
Ooh, I don't remember that. Yeah.
Subtle foreshadowing.
Again, it's just incredible. But yeah, the thing I wrote here is that Billie Piper brilliantly portrays a more mature, tired, enigmatic version of Rose, and all her dialogue with Donna is excellent, even if the whole episode is quite exposition heavy and slow paced setup for the finale. Like, it's a very, like, the first half of the episode is just seeing how things are different with all these tie-ins, and then the second half is like Rose, you know, kind of taking Donna on this like adventure. And but I like how her character's kind of different now. Like, she's a lot, I don't know, she's a lot more reserved and kind of like enigmatic and kind of I don't know, more like the Doctor even. But it's a really interesting evolution. But the other main thing is Donna, of course, because like her personality is consistent, even though the world is changing around her. Like, she is consistent as a character. She's still a loudmouth, bossy self. But we also actually see her like facing her crippling self-doubt and confidence issues a lot more directly, and it's a lot more emotional. And
I think the Doctor, being around the Doctor, really, you know, boosted her confidence. With it, in this dystopian world without the Doctor, it only gets worse.
It's more of a shock to the system as well, all the alien stuff, because it is more into her. She has less understanding of it, and Rose is just kind of dumping all this info on her, and it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm not that important. Like, what are you saying? She's like afraid of kind of responsibility, but she ultimately steps up and gives her life to kind of correct the universe. And it's just incredible.
Also, that comment by Sylvia after you know, the non-English people get taken off to the labor camps, when Donna enters the house and she says, "I suppose I've also always been a disappointment," and Sylvia just mutters, "Yeah." Dude,
and she's just got that glum expression without moving at all for like the whole shot. The acting there was so good. That's the final time we see Sylvia in that universe, and it's just like. There's also that conversation about like we're nobody because like they don't even have the right to vote anymore because they're like refugees or something, and it's like it's so like it's just such a tragic and also realistic representation of like, because there's real people in the world, maybe not in this country but in other countries, who like have to live lives like this, and I don't know, I thought it was quite bold to include that in the show, like politically, and I really respect it. But yeah, it's really sad because it's like there's actually just like a bad ending with like Donna and Sylvia. Like they're just kind of They get a really sad ending, and it's like there's no resolution or like hope at all. And like Wilf as well, like he's just, I don't know, he has his telescope, and it like the stars start going on. It's yeah. I just want to talk about the ending of the episode, and then we'll finally move on. We can spend time on the finale.
I was gonna bring up one more thing. The Torchwood team.
Yes. Rose explains.
Yeah, so
another.
So
you know,
Torchwood was kind of elaborated on in the series 3 finale. You know, Jack's got this little team. You know, rebooting Torchwood, and then it's that you know the whole thing with Torchwood, that actual series, the sister series to Doctor Who, that was actually a thing that intertwined with the main show.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how exactly, where exactly some of the episodes take place in comparison to the Doctor Who episodes, but I'm pretty sure. I know for a fact I've seen that scene where Jack sees the hand bubbling in the jar, and then he goes to run off to the Doctor, and that's where it connects to Utopia, and then the final series of Torchwood. I don't remember the subtitle name for the series. But that's sometime before the Series 4 specials finale, The End of Time, where you see Jack in the bar and the Doctor delivers a letter to him, about Alonso.
Yeah.
I do need to watch those sister series.
Yeah, I've never watched Torchwood. I don't know, it didn't fancy my interest, and I wasn't old enough until,
I think watching Torchwood and Sarah Jane Adventures would really help give us better context, especially for the Series 4 finale.
Yeah, like you don't need it, but it would definitely enhance aspects of the show. Knowing about Luke and Mr. Smith, as well as Yanto and Gwen. Yeah.
I watched the premiere of the Sarah Jane Adventures like months ago. I hadn't watched
do remember
any
that episode. Is that one with the orange juice? And they're all like, drink it.
Yeah.
Drink it. They're all possessed. And that's when Luke gets like created, because he's like a clone. It's weird.
I think created before then. He was just there.
It's in we see his origin story in that episode. I'm pretty sure.
It's been so long, I don't remember.
We need to rewatch it. Sarah Jane Adventures tier list coming next, maybe.
Yeah, we'll definitely. I think I'll start watching Sarah Jane Adventures after like series 5 or 6, because the 11th Doctor does crop up in an episode or two.
He does, yeah. Anyway, I want to say about Turn Left, right? The ending.
Yeah.
The Doctor has like the exposition to kind of explain like how this even happened, because like it's just a complete mystery to begin with. The way that I didn't even talk about like the beetle, there's something on your back, and how that was referenced over and over and made people like hostile towards Donna was like a really weird, creepy thing.
The Doctor also mentions the Trickster, because the beetle, as he says, is part of the Trickster's brigade, and the Trickster does actually appear in the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah, I remembered. It got me thinking. But the thing is, like, the fortune teller herself, it's never explained, like, who she even is, or why she did this with Donna, or, like, why she has the beetle, or anything. Presumably, maybe she's one of the Trickster's brigade, but...
that fortune teller is actually played by the same actor who played Chantho in Utopia.
No way! I didn't notice.
Yeah.
She looks so different without all the, obviously, makeup and stuff.
The prosthetics.
Cool. Yeah. But, like... how and why did she have this creature? Like, just build a universe around Donna? What was even, like, the point of any of it? It just feels like the setup for the situation to happen is kind of contrived, which is a shame, because the story itself is beautifully bleak. But the bad wolf reveal, the ending, after the kind of, like, calm down return to safety, and then the kind of bad wolf reveal, it generates so much, like, excitement and hype for the finale. And, like, the TARDIS is, like, the cloister bells and the red interior going off, and the next time trailer is absolutely mental.
I'm pretty sure the TARDIS is the one translating all the words, so they all say "bad wolf."
Yeah, exactly. It's just amazing though that I don't know, the acting and the dialogue in that whole scene was just so good.
I think my favorite part of the episode is when you with the music that's playing, and then you hear all the strange creatures building up.
Yeah, and he's like, "Donna, tell me, what was her name?" And it's like. Oh, yeah, it finally brings the show together. I think, so, aside from the kind of lack of explanation of, like, why this fortune teller's even here with this whole thing, like, I don't really have any problems with this episode. Like, the character development's amazing, the premise is a what-if, which is really cool. I think I'll give it A tier. I don't think I'll give it S tier, but it's close. Like, the whole sequence of, Donna being sent back in times over like the makeshift time machine. That was good. The soundtrack is amazing for this episode. So yeah, if you're ready, you can talk about episode 12, The Stolen Earth.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, I feel like this tier list is so unfair to the Doctor's daughter, but like, oh.
Yeah.
I had problems with that episode. Maybe I should do this. I don't know. They're all so good. I wouldn't rewatch these ones quite as much. But Partners in Crime. I don't know. Partners in Crime is tonal clash. That seems fair. I might change this again later. Well, let's talk about Stolen Earth, though. Stolen Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually didn't write as much for this because I woke up my mum and I had to go to bed, so that was not good. It was late at night. I shouldn't have been up, but like I had no other time of the day. But the thing is, I don't have much to say because this episode, honestly, is perfect. It's actually literally flawless. Like, this isn't a case where I have maybe a nitpick or two. There is not a single thing I would change about this episode at all. And it actually kind of blew my mind just how well crafted this thing was. Like, it's immaculate. Like, the way it's structured, it's really fast paced, but it doesn't rush stuff. It does a lot. It's ambitious and it, like, succeeds. The scoring is right at every moment. The characterizations of all of these different characters are faithful and they all get enough screen time to, you know, make sense. It does all the necessary setup for Journey's End, and the cinematography, effects, and direction are all top tier. Like, there's not a single member of the cast or crew that I think, you know, didn't do a good job.
Can we just talk about the return of Harriet Jones, former Prime Minister?
Right, like it was like the Avengers assembled, dude. There's like
they literally did Endgame before Endgame.
Yeah, man. It was that, like, you know, ambitious, and it was like it succeeded. I mean, you got the visual link of like the Milkman to show what happened to Earth. It's like he's the one, you know, in the background when the Doctor and Don on Earth and everything's fine. Then we see him again when Rose like teleports in. The Medusa Cascade CGI is really good compared to some of the CGI from previous seasons. Like, I just think the actual art style and design of it with all the planets as well is great. You know, for a BBC budget in, you know, 2009, it could have been better. But...
Can we just for a moment, can we appreciate I'm going to send the link to the video, but can we just, you can mute the video, of course, to avoid copyright. Can we just appreciate how many names were in the titles? Yes!
Oh my god, it was so hype. Like, because this is what I said in my notepad as well. It's like, this links Torchwood, Sarah Jane Adventures, Harriet Jones, and Martha/Unit. It's not just the finale of Series 4, it's the finale of New Who, and it's like they all get rotated around fairly, and it's nice. It's just really impressive. Let me see if I can get the quality up here. But yeah, it's like, normally there's like 2 or 3 names tops, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's like they had to go through them so quick.
And they couldn't fit any more names in there, so they just had them rolling during the white text on the while the episode was rolling. They had Gareth David Lloyd who played Ianto. They had Eve Miles who played Gwen Cooper, and then they had Penelope Wilson who played Harriet Jones. Which they don't normally do, but yeah. I'm pretty sure this is the only episode, other than probably Journey's End if it did it as well, to do that.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't remember these things. But yeah, it's just incredible. Like, the stakes are high, the exposition's handled just right, and there's rich character development for many characters, even the Doctor. I didn't even write notes about this, but all the stuff with the Shadow Proclamation is pretty cool, from getting characters from point A to point B. It ties in with the stuff like the bees disappearing.
The Doctor's been citing the Shadow Proclamation since the literal first episode.
Has he? Oh my god, he does!
When he goes to confront the Nestine consciousness, I seek order under peaceful contract under something of the Shadow Proclamation. And then we
actually finally get to see him again. It's just great for world building.
Oh my god, the return of the Jadoon!
Yeah, that was cool. And also, like, Donna, like, it was a bit random how, like, one of the people there was, like, warning her about something bad and coming in the future, but I'm guessing they were kind of psychic. It doesn't really matter, but it's like you start hearing the heartbeat. So yeah, anyway, Stolen Earth's S tier. This is just a phenomenal episode.
Can we just talk about the ending?
And yeah, the ending. So the obviously ending cliffhanger, right? Like you've got
right, like starting from when the Doctor and Donna land on the abandoned Earth, and then they see just the ghost town, as Donna calls it.
Yeah.
Starting from there.
Before even that, I love how when it's revealed that the fleet descending is the Daleks, and like everyone's reactions to that.
Everyone knows who that is, and they're just, well, we're fucked.
And it's like, yeah, it just, there's such, if you've watched all of the seasons up to this point, there's like so much weight to that. Harriet Jones was excellent as well in both episodes, but yeah, having the kind of desolate ghost town and the Doctor's reunion with Rose at long last was pretty much exactly, like, I don't think I could have been executed better. Like, it wasn't so cheesy and over the top, but they had a good use of like slow-mo and like the way they just run towards each other, and Donna's kind of like, what you asking yourself, like, the camera angles, the way they change the focus and everything.
But then, of course, fate gets in the way one last time.
Yeah, like because the thing is, like, with a lot of, like, cliffhangers, it's like they usually have to, like, invent some kind of, like, risk that can, like, seem, like, unresolved. And sometimes it's a bit, like, slapped on, sometimes it's, like, really natural and organically entwined. But, like, having the Doctor actually regenerate was just such an insane thing, because it's, like, that almost seems like you can't do that, like, in the middle of the story. Like, how are you going to resolve that? And it's like, every cliffhanger, most cliffhangers in Doctor Who, like, they get, the stakes get higher and higher and higher with each episode, so you just kind of, you know, it becomes even harder to solve. But this one was just amazing, because it also finally, you know, gives his spare hand, like, a plot reason to exist. It's been in the background for, like, the whole series. And it's like, that whole concept of the, you know, DNA being able to regenerate him into the same body, it was clever. And yeah, you've got, you know,
there's a few other
Rose,
things
Donna,
about
and
this
Captain
episode.
Jack there.
There's a few other things about this episode that we haven't discussed yet. First of all, love the Supreme Dalek, the more designed shell and the deeper voice of the Daleks, the more commanding tone.
Again, I didn't want to just keep going on about things like, you know, set design and costume, but yeah, like, everything about this episode was glorious.
And then when it turns from the Supreme Dalek to the massive array of Daleks that just all chant, Daleks are the masters of Earth.
Yeah. Again, Nick Briggs' voice acting was excellent. I also love, we didn't talk about Davros, because there's more of Davros in Journey's End.
That's what I was going to bring up next, Davros.
Let's talk about Journey's End as well now. Davros, man.
Yeah.
It's, oh my gosh.
It's his first appearance. The actor who played him, Julian Bleach, he actually reprised his role as, you know, like Khalid Davros before he, you know, became secluded to the wheelchair thing.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. But yeah, so, I mean, Journey's End, right? Like, you've got, you know, the TARDIS being taken up to the Crucible. Again, amazing CGI, the music, the kind of like...
Felt a bit Star Wars, though, right?
It is. It's literally the Death Star. And I like, actually, how it's Rose and Jack who are with the Doc up there, because it's like, they were his first companions way back in Series 1, before he regenerated into 10. And it's obviously, like, Doctor and Rose are, like, having them reunited and be here for the end is appropriate. And Jack, obviously, you know, with his gimmick of not being able to die...
This is also his first. This is also Rose and Jack's first meeting since the end of Series 1.
Oh my god, I hadn't thought about that, because yeah, she doesn't know that he's like immortal.
I actually recently thought about this in Series 2. During Doomsday, Rose says to Dalek Sec that I took the time vortex and poured it into his head and turned him into dust. Like, how does she remember that but not reviving Jack?
Plot, I don't know. I feel like it's more of a like, her memory's probably like blurry from the time. Maybe the Doctor actually like told her about it or something. He didn't mention Jack.
Well, then again, in Utopia, the Doctor did say she brought you back to life, but she couldn't control the Jack. She brought you back forever.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, the I don't know. I hadn't even thought about that.
Oh yeah, and the final return of Dalek Khan.
Yeah, I completely forgot about this. I'm sorry. There's so much. Yeah, see, I think, like, the Cull of Skaro, I feel like they were underutilized, ultimately, because I feel like we could have had more episodes with them. They were really, I don't know, like, interesting takes on the Daleks, and they barely got any screen time before they were, like, just exterminated themselves, but I guess that's part of the point. And at least, though, we got this really unique thing with Dalek Khan, where he becomes this, like, prophet. It's really interesting.
I feel like the Cult of Skara had just the right amount of screen time, because I think if we had just a bit too much of them, it would be oversaturated, and this mystery of this cult that just came out of nowhere in series 2, it would be kind of dumbed down a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I would change it. I just feel like, man, they got killed off so fast. But yeah, it's fine. God, there's so much to say. Yeah. So let me just draw from my notes here. Like the plot is tight. All right, it's tight. Pretty much everything, not everything, but pretty much everything can be explained.
Tight, yo.
Yeah, like even the tiniest of details can be explained logically. Like, I was confused initially how Mickey got his gun back from inside the TARDIS, because he left it, like, on a road before they got taken up to the Crucible. But then I remembered he has a teleportation device. But then I remembered, why would he need to follow Jack into the TARDIS? And then I remembered, it's not his gun, it's Rose's. They're identical because they're all for the parallel universe. Because Rose's gun was left in there after the cliffhanger, because Jack was carrying it when they went in at the end of Stolen Earth. And it's like, that's why he goes in with Jack. And it's like, there's so many details, everything aligns. Like, the plot is actually so tight, it's crazy. Like, every character contributes as well. No one's useless. And the Doctor's very principles and pacifism are, like, legitimately challenged by Davros. There's like a character element to it as well.
Yeah, speaking of no characters going unused, we've also got to talk about Martha and the Osterhagen key.
Yeah, I'm getting onto that. Because, like, I mentioned here that, Dalek Khan's profit roll is a creative direction for the last survivor of the cult. You got Sarah Jane's interaction with Davros, which is just a nice little enhancement for the emotion of the scene, and gives both characters some more presence while fitting in fan service.
Isn't that a callback specifically to Genesis of the Daleks?
Yes. Yes, it is. And that was the first Old Who episode I watched. I don't know if I watched it before or after this, but I watched it and it was like, oh, wow. But yeah,
hang on. One thing I want to say about Osterhagen. I don't know if you knew this, but Osterhagen is actually an anagram of Earth's gone.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. You see how that came out.
The use of the key makes so much more sense when you know that.
Yeah, that's interesting. The thing I'd say about that is that, like, I love how just high stakes it is. Like, the episode is appropriately, like, dramatic, just to an incredible point. Because you've got this, I mean, there's this whole build-up throughout the whole episode of the Osterhagen key and what it is, and it's like, this terrible, terrible thing. And even that scene with, like, the random German lady, also Dalek speaking German, that was quite a scene.
Exterminieren.
Definitely no historical connotations there, but also, like, I actually translated the dialogue with the German lady in that scene, and I don't know, it's really interesting because it adds a human element and a realistic element and intrigue into like, Martha's side of the story.
Harriet Jones' just completely volatile reaction to the Osterhagen.
Oh yeah, it will not be used. Yeah, again, like I like how there's all these like hints and it's like unclear, but it's like every character who knows about it kind of like has a different response. And then there's also like the warp star, which I don't know, it's a bit weird how it just gets kind of like introduced a bit last minute, but it's not like a problem because it gives Sarah Jane some agency and it's totally befitting her character. I think it is actually elaborated on in her show as well, I'm not really sure. But it's like, you get Martha coming in with the threat of like removing one of the planets, you get, Sarah Jane, Jack and everyone with like, the threat of destroying the Crucible. And then it's like those chances are lost. But then you get the Meta Crisis, Donna and Doctor, but then that chance is lost because, like, Davros zaps them both, and then Donna clutches everything, like, last second. It's absolutely just, like, it literally comes down to the last few seconds. And the way that's built up, and, you feel like it's about a win, and then it's not, and it's, like, it's not that straightforward. It's, like, there's actually, like, quite a few hurdles in the conflict to overcome. It's just, it's just brilliant. I want to talk more about the Meta Crisis Doctor because that was a really interesting.
Oh yeah, when the Crucible even has a trap door like in Jabba the Hutt's palace.
Yeah, honestly, that whole scene was brilliant. That was like where the Daleks are talking to the Doctor and you got that classic relationship and the kind of stakes being raised. But yeah, it's having like the hand finally come into play. And, like, the way it's explained is really, like, easy to understand, and because it's like similar to how the Doctor regenerates into the same person, like the whole presence of his DNA, and also like, you know, finally paying off, you know, the foreshadowing throughout the whole series of like Donna's role as like, you know, the most important woman in the universe. And I like the subtle differences between the three Doctors. I mean, obviously, because like the Donna's clearly got a bit of that, like, you know, snarky, you know.
So there's three of you, three
chatty,
Doctors.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah. It's like Donna's obviously got a bit of that, like, you know, doctory charm after Davros zaps, and she has that, like, super, like, chatty and kind of, you know, like, super smart, intelligent aspect, which is cool. But also, like, the Meta-Crisis Doctor is the 10th Doctor from the Christmas Invasion, basically. He's the brand new Doctor who still kind of doesn't know who he is, and just kind of, by default, has a, you know, less world-weary, less kind of, like, you know, driven, like, pacifist agenda like 10 does, because he doesn't have the experiences of series 2, 3, and 4 specifically. It's like 10 draws this subtle line between, you know, 10 being kind of like, you know, absolutely determined to do the right thing, whereas like the Meta-Crisis Doctor is just kind of like more impulsive and hot-headed and just kind of ready to, like, you know, go to war. It kind of, oh yeah, I wrote, it calls back to the Christmas Invasion when he decides to kill the Sycorax leader. No second chances kind of man, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Again, I wrote the concept, explanation, and utilization of the Meta-Crisis Doctor is brilliant, because also having two of the 10th Doctor, but like one of them's human, and it's like the way that's resolved with Rose, and it's like Rose, instead of going back to square one, she gets this clone, basically, of her Doctor who will age with her and everything. It's absolutely perfect, like, just really smartly done, because otherwise, like, Rose would just kind of go back to square one, and that would be sad.
Yeah. Livy's back.
Hello.
Livy, no way, hey.
Sorry, something popped up last minute. It's nothing bad, but
I get it.
Yeah, my mum's got my
cousin
cousin at the moment, so yeah.
Livy, we're literally talking about Journey's End. The stream's gone by a lot quicker because I've condensed what I've said about my notes a lot more to avoid repeating myself, because I have a lot of the same compliments for all episodes. I'm just going to finish what I'm saying about Journey's End, and we can fill you in and like probably end the stream in like half an hour. Oh my god, there's so much.
Cool.
But like the last things was the Dr. Donna payoff. I have described it as shocking, exciting, witty, and tragic, because it gives Donna that like spotlight that she really deserves. And it's partly thanks to Davros's own underestimation of her that like they ultimately win, because he doesn't put her in a holding cell.
Yeah, I was going to say that. You are worthless. I am not even going to put you in a holding cell.
Exactly, yeah, and it's like that hubris is what defeats Davros. Again, in terms of actual criticism, you could say, well, Davros's motive isn't explained very well. I mean, he invented the Daleks, and it's like that interaction with the Doctor at first through the TARDIS, and then like all his dialogue throughout, trying to like, you know, he's basically just an insane fascist mad with power. It's not that complicated. He is just has like a very absolute view of the universe, and you know, wants to control.
He's very hypocritical, because at the end when the Crucible gets destroyed, he names the Doctor the Destroyer of Worlds. When did we not just see what was happening like 5 minutes ago?
This is the thing. Davros and the Daleks, going all the way back to Genesis as well as this stuff, it's very rooted in depictions of Nazism and fascism and the inherent hypocrisy of these extreme ideologies and these extreme, you know, militarized and kind of like, you know, destructive ideas. And it's the whole point is that he's an absolute hypocrite who's just kind of drunk on power and just absolutely determined to be right. But yeah, I like how this is the other thing. This episode, the thing is though, obviously Davros is wrong, but it's like the Doctor's principles and pacifism are legitimately challenged by Davros. It's like he does actually point out, you know, how many died of your name, you got the flashback, and it's like the children of time are all weaponized. And it's like, you know, he goes to the Doctor saying like he won't, you know, use weapons himself, but he forges others into weapons. And it's like there is an element of truth in that with what we see on screen, because what all the other companions do is threat to, you know, blow up the world, blow up the Crucible.
I mean, technically, it's it's not him. It's not technically his fault because
There's
the
more to
companions
it.
have free will too. They choose
Yeah.
to, they choose to use weapons.
But there's an undeniable element that it's like his influence, because it's obviously how they interpreted. Like Martha, this is what Martha really highlights nicely. She interpreted, what she learned from the Doctor as like fighting aliens, so she joins the military and unit. But it's like Donna, as the newest one round here, who is the most ordinary. Like she didn't go on to serve in the government. She's not trapped in a parallel universe and working. Like she's just a temp from Chiswick, and it's the one with the least experience, she's the one who saves the day. And it just shows the purity, I guess, of,
Even Rose said she was building a dimension cannon in the parallel universe.
Exactly, and it's like, it's a really nice symbolic kind of thematic aspect. There's also just kind of like the pacing, like Luke and Mr. Smith and the Torchwood duo, they get their moments. Like they disappear for a large part of the episode because they're just kind of stuck, like with the time lock in there and everything. But it's they appear at the end, and it's like everybody gets like a farewell. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute because I'm going on. But Livy, is there anything you wanted to say? Because you dropped out for a bit. Shall we just look at each other's tier lists now? I'll talk about the ending like in a bit. That can wait.
Oh boy, the ending.
Yeah.
Journey's, I'm put Journey's an S tier, man. I have so little to critique about this. It's very nitpicky. There's one thing which I should mention, but I won't mention it yet. I'm not sure if this is my final list, though. What did you guys do?
My tier list was a bit further up.
Was mine. Yeah, sorry. I feel it was a bit generous with mine, but I don't know.
You're not, trust me. Like, this is some of the best TV that's ever been made. Like, I'll die on that hill. It's not just bias talking. I've come back to this as an adult, and I've really tried to critique this, but it's so hard when it's, like, so good, and there's, like, it's just well written and well produced. This is, like, the highest production quality of this time, because it just kept improving.
Imagine trying to criticize a TV show, but it's so good you just end up failing completely.
It's literally, though, that's literally me. With series 3 and 4 especially, and honestly with all of Doctor Who, like, it's that good. Like, there's nothing here. Because when I'm criticizing, I try and think, if there's something wrong, there's got to be a solution, right? If there's a problem, there's a solution. So what would I change to make these episodes better? And it's like, there's not a lot I would change. There's not a lot I dislike. I think, like, there are so few things I can actually point to and say, that was a bad writing decision, or, that didn't work. Whereas I can definitely get examples from Series 1 to 3, clearly. Like, Series 4, man, oh my gosh. It's so consistent. Livy, I don't remember where we got up to with you, but, like, did you... So you put Midnight in good. That kind of surprised us. Like, you ranked it relatively low.
Yeah, I don't know. Hang on. With my rankings, I kind of like put them as like. Hang on, so which one? Midnight. I found it like 50-50. Like there were a few good things, but then it didn't really like stick out, I guess. Like there wasn't anything that really like
memorability. This is why I'm not as enthusiastic about Planet of the Ood and Partners in Crime. They're not as memorable to me. Like, they're not bad, but like, they don't they're not like on the level of Fires of Pompeii, Poison Sky, Unicorn the Wasp. I get that.
The U2 part from Series 2 just wasn't memorable to me. Like, even Fear Her and Love and Monsters, even those were memorable, just not in the way you think.
Love and Monsters is memorable for the wrong reasons, and it's the only episode to be that way in, like, this entire show. It's so bizarre.
You would be surprised at the amount of people on the Doctor Who subreddit that actually hate Fear Her more than Love and Monsters.
Bro, Fear Her was just mid, okay? Like, it wasn't awful. It was just kind of mid. It's just a nothing mode. You can skip it.
I have like really low standards when ranking something like extremely low or extremely high. Like if something's just like not interesting to me, I'll just rank it like mid. That's what I did with Love and Monsters.
But I mean, as long as you got a fair and consistent criteria, it's what I try and do, because like there's got to be a consistent reasoning. That's what makes this a critique rather than just like an opinion.
I think with the right execution, Love and Monsters could have been something good.
Yeah, but there are so many things I would change. Like I would fashion it into a completely different story. But we're not talking about Love and Monsters. We're talking about I mean, Livy, so you put, like... What to you is the difference between GOAT and fantastic on this list? Because it's all good. I think we all agree all of this is good. There was not a bad episode in Doctor Who Series 4. It's remarkably consistent. But it's like, where do you draw the line between the S tier and, like, everything else?
So basically the way I ranked it is I did it out of 10, and then I based it on how many points out of 10 I gave it as to which tier I would put it in.
Yeah.
So the good tier is 5 to 6 out of 10. And Midnight I gave a 6 out of 10. I think the main thing that like stood out to me, and I didn't even realize this until my dad pointed it out, but the not Doctor Who himself, the other Doctor who was on the tour with him with his assistant. Apparently, he's the son of one of the original Doctors, the one played by Patrick.
Ethan talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the guys from Midnight.
My dad came in while I was like going over a few of the episodes, and he was like, "Oh yeah, did you know?" And I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Ethan literally told me this like an hour ago. He's the trivia man. We need a Doctor Who trivia channel instead of a FNAF trivia channel for this guy. He actually knows so much.
Maybe I should do those on my community post.
I mean, you could. I've chat's been dead, by the way. Like, nobody's been here, but I'm not complaining because I've been a bit tired. But I feel like there's not a lot to say because like there's nothing that was really bad about this. Like, I don't have a lot of criticism, but I don't want to keep repeating myself. So yeah, Livy, you thought like Planet of the Empires are kind of good, I get, but it's like. Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead are in fantastic, but don't go. Like, what was not so good about those ones compared to, Unicorn the Woods? Turn Left.
I think the majority of things were like for the fantastic ones, there were a lot of things that stuck out to me, but then it was just kind of the flow of some of them. Like, Silence in the Library was kind of like. I don't know.
Well, I put in my notes that it was slow-paced, but I did think that was a problem because it spent time on character exposition, like River Song. That was important.
I think it was a case of like... Yeah. I think it was a case of like, trying to think how I phrase this. So... Like, I think it was kind of, I think I mentioned this in one of the streams before, but there was that, like, I found there's points where I kind of find it difficult to follow along because, like, so much is, like, kind of going on.
Okay.
Like, it throws me off a bit because I'm like, wait, hang on a minute, so there's that, but then there's that. And it's just like, it's not that it's not put together properly, it's just I'm not following along with it, and that, like, throws off my ratings for it, because I can't enjoy it as much as... You
would hate Flux. Series 13 is so bad in this regard. It's absolutely incoherent. They literally, I kid you not, they introduced, like, 8 plot lines in, like, a 45-minute episode. And some of them, they only spend like a minute on, and it's all covered throughout the course of 6 episodes, and it's so bad.
A lot of them are just unresolved.
Right? Like, it's so shit. Like, they literally cut out one of the major, like, part where they addressed, like, the universe being destroyed or whatever in the, the last part. But, yeah, we don't care about that. We don't talk about it. I honestly, I wasn't even thinking about it when I watched it. I was just, like, wondering, okay, what am I missing? Oh, my God.
If me and you are going to watch the 13th Doctor, I'm just going to suggest a few standout episodes. The Woman Who Fell to Earth, her premiere episode, it's pretty good. It was great.
That was the
for
peak
a premiere episode.
Witting's run.
Also...
Resolution of the Daleks was good.
Rosa was also pretty good. Another historical figure.
Yeah, it could have been better, to be honest.
Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror, the conflict between Nikola Tesla and the other one I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
And Fugitive of the Jadoon.
Nah, I mean, that's got highs and lows. I think they did Jack Day, but the Fugitive Doctor was actually better than the main Doctor. She was better written in much less time. It's just
Mr. Swim Gaming has returned.
Swim's back, yo! We got everyone back for the season finale, guys. We're literally talking about Journey's End. Like, let's just look at that. Was Livy's tier list, right? Let me look at everyone's actual last tier lists, because I know you.
Oh no. 8-Bit Ryan tweeted something that he said today's video was sponsored by Manscaped.
Oh wow.
No.
Yeah.
A realistic liminal driving horror game.
I'm just looking at.
That's what this video is.
That's interesting. Sounds familiar. I'm just looking at Ethan's tier list, and yeah, I totally see what you mean. Nice inclusion of Voyage of the Damned. Yeah, Doctor's Daughter and Planet that you didn't be, and like again for you, like what's the separation between S tier and like A tier?
Oh, for me.
Yeah. So you look at your list. I'm just looking at everyone's list now.
I think the difference between S and A tier is that A tier episodes I enjoy, but they're not episodes that I would like go back to watch frequently. But S tier episodes are episodes I would just watch whenever I want to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good way to define it, actually. I totally see that.
Like, I would go back and watch the series 4 finale in a heartbeat.
Good choices. And Swim, I'm just looking at your tier list.
Yeah, I've got the specials on mine.
Yeah. Let's not worry about the specials for now. We'll talk about that plenty of time in like a couple of weeks. I haven't gotten around to specials yet, and we wouldn't have time today anyway. Unless I rush through them, maybe, but... So you actually put a lot of stuff in A, because if you take away the Voyage of the Damned, the specials, it's like everything's in A and S, which is absolutely based. Yeah. So for you? What's the difference between S and A? Like,
I think S is either like something I just really enjoyed, or really good writing that like affected the whole series. Like for example, Science in the Library.
I respect having both two-parters in, well, all the two-parters in like the top tier, because honestly, I really liked the Sontaran one, and Science in the Library for us was just excellent through and through.
Yeah.
But yeah, you put Unicorn Wasp a bit lower though. Like that's different to some of our tier lists.
Yeah,
was there any change about that? Like...
Now, to be fair, some of this is outdated a bit, but I'm happy with most of it.
I love S plus 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 plus. We'll talk about that when we get to the specials. If you're not here, I will be sure to honor you with this tier list. But yeah, these are great lists, guys. I think it's time I did mine. There's more stuff you want to say in general.
Did we actually get to talk about the ending of Journey's End?
I'll talk about the ending of Journey's End. Yeah, so...
not many Planet of the Ood fans here.
Planet of the Ood is, like, good, but, like, compared... when it's such a high standard for the series, it's like... I don't know, I feel like, yeah, I said
like
Warehouse 50 could be introduced sooner. It's like... some of the... I don't know, I just don't feel like rewatching it that much.
Yeah.
It could have done more with some of the additional characters. I don't know. It's really hard. Like, all of these deserve to be in S tier, really. Except maybe, I don't know, Doctor's Daughter. But, like, I don't want to be mean to one episode. Just because it has, like, some clunky, you know, plot choices.
Anyway, sorry for interrupting. That's like...
Nah, it's alright, mate. There's so much to say. I don't want to talk over people as much, so I'm just gonna say my bit here. Basically, the thing about Journey's End that I forgot about is that it's actually 60 minutes long. It's got an extra 15 minutes. It's an extra length special episode to end things off. And I like that it takes its time on the right things. Like, the conflict with Davros and all the stuff the Crucible is already built up. You see all the companions, you know, Jackie, like, escaping the reality bomb test, and, like, all this, you know, Martha going to the secret unit headquarters, and they all get teleported on, and it's like, the way it keeps building up tension, and it looks like there's a resolution, and it fails, and it's like, it just keeps pushing. and then the Doctor Donner in the end. It's amazing. But what I really love is the ending music. It's called the Song of Freedom. It's so, revered that it got, mentioned in the soundtrack's, like, album cover, including Song of Freedom and the Doctor's theme. And it's like having everyone in the TARDIS and having it actually be piloted by 6 people and have to drag the Earth back across space. I mean, that, I guess you could argue, is a bit silly, but it's like the TARDIS is totally capable of that with, the whole setup, and it does feel earned.
I love that the Doctor gives some exposition as to why he's always bumping around all over the place.
Yeah. And just hearing all the planets' names that went missing being sent back it's really sweet. But what is really interesting is all the individual scenes after that. It's like everyone's celebrating and cheering. It just looks like they just let the camera roll behind the scenes after they announced they'd like done filming or something. That's how genuine it feels. And it's like everyone gets sent back on a new trajectory. It's like, there's a hint that Martha's going to join Torchwood rather than Unit. She goes off with Jack, and it's like Sarah Jane's going to rush off, and there's like a nice one with them. Yeah, what is it?
So first of all, we get into contact with Torchwood and Mr. Smith. There's a nice little callback to The Unquiet Dead when the Doctor asks Gwen about her heritage. Tell me, Gwen Cooper, are you from an old Cardiff family?
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Because wasn't she also called Gwen Cooper?
Eve Miles, she played Gwen Cooper in the Tortured series, and she played Gwyneth in the Unquiet Dead episode.
Oh my god, I didn't even realise it was the same actor. Really?
Which one's the Unquiet Dead again?
It's the one with the Gelf, when they go back to the 1800s with Charles Dickens.
Oh, dude,
that's what I was thinking.
I completely did. I didn't notice it was because I honestly forgot about that episode completely. That was amazing.
Charles Dickens ones. Speaking of that Charles Dickens ones, I think it was in the 11th Doctor. They were like comparing something, and it was, I think maybe it was Amy or something saying, "Oh yeah, well that was like Charles Dickens seeing a ghost."
Oh yeah, and he's like,
That was
in the Christmas one, wasn't it?
That was actually Donna in the Unicorn and the Wasp. I mean, that's like seeing Charles Dickens and meeting Charles Dickens at Christmas, and there's ghosts.
Oh, I couldn't remember.
And the Donna's like, "Yeah, done that one." Yeah, no, sorry, Ethan's right. Yeah.
Also, the second return of K9. He gets a little bit of screen time in this.
Yeah, K9. Oh yeah, K9 actually shows up at the end to help. I can't remember what it is. It's like get the coordinates. Again, like every character contributes. It's like no one's wasted or just standing there except Jackie. That's like a
K9 was a Doctor Who character, and then he just became more of a Sarah Jane character.
Yeah. That's fair enough though. Like they made as much room as they could for so many characters. But it's like they're all done justice. Like Mickey gets some extra time to shove dialogue with 10 because he's a bit underdeveloped compared to the others. And it's like he decides that like he just needs to go off and start fresh and do his own thing. And I like that we get that filled in background.
I like Mickey's character arc throughout the Russell T Davies era. He's just at first he's just this bumbling idiot that is just the sidekick in all of this next to Rose and the Doctor.
Yeah,
and then during his time in the parallel world, he gets to do work in the Cybermen 2-parter, and then he comes back in the 2-parter series finale. And then during all that time he's trapped in the parallel world, he's doing work. I presume he still worked with Jake, doing stuff, saving the world.
But yeah, he ends up with Martha, I think, in Time, which was interesting.
At the end of time,
like when Doctor sees everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was cool that like he got an opportunity to kind of like evolve a bit because it's like Mickey obviously didn't have time for actual character.
And I'm glad he finally got over Rose once and for all.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because he starts off as like quite a just unfortunate character with a really
just quite kind of like a simp
situation. Yeah. Well, it's not entirely his fault. I think Rose was a bitch to him in Boomtown, actually. But
Yeah, to be fair, he pretty much.
That's a Rose character thing.
It was deserved, and Rose didn't really, have much interest in Mickey anymore after like series 2.
Yeah. Well, during series 1.
I'll still never get over that crackhead Mickey in the first ever episode.
Oh my god, the plastic Mickey.
God, the Auton Mickey. Yeah, that was so funny.
The CGI is so garbage.
I just call him crackhead Mickey for some reason.
And because his hands do the thing. Yeah, that was so bizarre. Crackhead Mickey, that's funny.
That £5 CGI.
Yeah. But yeah,
Revenge of the Sith CGI looked better than that.
The budget, guys, it was BBC, man. They're stingy as hell. But yeah, after all of that, though, what you get is, of course, Donna's end, which is
we didn't
really unfortunate.
Did we not explain, what happened to Rose after everyone else left?
Oh yeah, no, let's talk about that. Yeah, I just like that she gets the meta-crisis doctor, and like the direction of that scene, of how they both like respond to her differently. It's like, she asks, well, you start that sentence. What was the end of that sentence? Ten's like, doesn't need to be said.
I think he kind of shows that the doctor.
You still don't audibly hear the doctor say those words, but you know what he says when the metacrisis whispers it into her ear.
And I like that Ten and Donna just like disappear while Rose is busy snogging metacrisis doctor. She looks back and they're already gone. The TARDIS is leaving. It's like it's perfectly fitting, like just from like a structural point of view, but also like the actual character relationships. Oh,
and I think the secondary reason the doctor had to go was because of what you were just about to bring up.
Yeah, so
Donna.
And like, yeah, the twist of Donna actually dying because of this like meta-crisis thing and having to have her memories erased. I like that she didn't just get killed off, because that would be a pretty obvious thing to do with a companion. But rather than everyone getting a perfect happy ever after, having this like consequence, I think was really unique and really really interesting, because it presents a new dilemma and continues consequences for other characters as well. She doesn't just die and it's like sad. It's not cliche and clunky like that. She gets to live, but she reverts back to where she was before she met the Doctor. I don't
think any of the characters any of the companions actually died in theory.
No, because that would be a bit much.
Martha, of all the new companions, Martha's the luckiest one, because she actually got to, she got her own free will. She left the Doctor by choice.
Yeah.
And the others, they either died or got trapped somewhere else.
Yeah, Martha left while the going was good. She knew when to quit.
The thing is, like with Clara's, it kind of confuses me, because you don't actually see. I think she was going to go back to her time stream where she actually died.
She has to eventually.
Actually saw it.
No. Clara's a living paradox who's already dead. It's Moffat.
Yeah.
But like Donna being reset, and then having Sylvia and Wilf being the ones who suffer as a result, because even though Donna's alive and well, it's like all the improvement and progress she had as a person, the Doctor's just completely gone. So it's like this bittersweet thing where, like,
Alma and Wilf deserve better.
Yeah, Sylvia's herself, and then, like, it's raining, and Wilf, like, salutes the Doctor, and, it's so sweet. I love how it sets up Wilf for End of Time. And
I think one thing I want to talk about is the music that plays when the confrontation, when the Doctor is approaching Donna, having to do the deed.
Yeah, it's so sad, because I said, the writing, direction, cinematography, scoring, acting, it was all really good in this episode, and I think it definitely deserves the S tier. But, like, that moment particularly, Donna just goes out. She doesn't get a chance to have, like, a drawn-out farewell or a satisfying conclusion like Rose and Martha did. She just gets taken away, and it's gone. It's over. She doesn't get to say goodbye. And yeah, that's quite impactful.
The fact that she would rather die, but with her memory burned up, than go back to what she was.
Yeah.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate how literally Wilf is the best companion of all time?
Yeah, Wilf sweep. Mm-hmm. Wilf is the best companion. Facts. On God. I'm not saying all these episodes are bad, guys. I'm just I want to redo this ranking.
That's the only good thing about Voyage of the Damned. It introduced us to Will.
Yeah, I don't hate Voyage of the Damned, but like it's a Christmas special, so it's like Christmas specials generally aren't that good.
Ethan, didn't you tell me that he wasn't actually supposed to be in?
Yeah, Wilf's role was supposed to be taken over by Donna's father, Geoffrey Noble, but he passed away during filming.
But yeah, this series is just remarkable. Like I think it holds the highest standard out of everything.
I think the very final scene of Journey's End is just impeccable, because just moments ago we had the Doctor flying the TARDIS with all his people. Then they all left. Rose had to be stripped back to the parallel world. Donna had her memories wiped. and now the Doctor's all alone again.
Yeah.
And there's not even a what? It's just...
Right? They cut out... There's a delete scene, I'm sure you know about it already.
Yeah, there's a deleted scene where Donna hears the TARDIS going off for a moment, and then the Cybermen pop up behind the Doctor. I'm glad that scene was cut, because it just ruins the emotional impact. Like,
I mean,
much like how Donna appearing at the end of Doomsday.
Yeah, it wasn't appropriate this time.
It foreshadows the next Doctor well, but, like, doesn't really work.
It's unnecessary, and it's also, like, illogical. Like, how'd they get in there, bro?
Because the next Doctor was, like, about Cybermen in the Victorian times.
Yeah. Just trying to think of which episodes I didn't give 10 out of 10. I did actually say Midnight. I don't think Midnight's perfect. I think the rest of the characters on the travel thing, I forget what the vehicle's called. I think they could have had more development and, like, backstory. But that was still a very good episode. It's hard for me not to put these in S tier, but I don't want to have everything in S tier, so... I said Poison Sky, like, had, like, a few, like, issues. But yeah, I think that's my final tier list, guys. I think I'm going to have to go with that. Otherwise, I'm going to be here forever.
Right, fair.
So, there's not a bad episode in Series 4. If I was more generous, I could probably put, like, everything in S and then Doctor's Daughter in, like, A. But I really tried here to be fair because, like, some of these are just, like, in another league. Why did I put Turn Left in front? No, Turn Left should be S tier. What am I doing? I can't decide. But yeah.
I
No,
don't
I
dislike
remember
any season 4 episodes. I'd say the only ones that are, like, kind of mid are some of the specials.
You know what might be fairer, actually, is if I do this. Yeah. Nah, I don't know. It's hard to decide. But I tell you what, guys, when I do the specials in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna, like, I'm gonna do all of the 10th Doctor episodes into one tier list, and I'm gonna have, like, Series 1 as well. So I'm gonna have, like, everything redone, all compiled into one place. I'm gonna try and, like, advertise it more as an event. So, like, if people have missed out on, like, certain series and they didn't want to watch this because I hadn't seen the other 3 series, it could be like, just join this, 10 minutes, I'll just show off all the tier lists in a segment at the end, it'll be time-stamped.
The Russell T Davies tier list.
Are we doing Matt Smith stuff?
So here's the thing, I was going to do everything up to Series 10, but the 60th is here and I just haven't had time, so I'm not going to confirm anything. I'm not sure I will, but if I find time to rewatch, eventually, maybe, but that might be, like, months away, because I just don't have that much time to rewatch Doctor Who, unfortunately. I don't know, I'm busy.
Yeah.
I hate to be making excuses like that, but, like, there's so much, and it's not a huge priority for me. But this was a priority because obviously Dave and Russell and Murray Gold, you know, they're all coming back, and Catherine Tay, and yeah, like it's this era which really matters, and it's also something that I haven't really watched in a while. So I'm really glad that I came back to this specifically. This was the important bit. So what's going to be happening, guys, is that this Saturday and the next 2 Saturdays after, there are going to be 3 specials released. Sometime shortly before or shortly after Saturday 9th of December, sometime around then, maybe even on the day, I'm going to do the specials tier list. I'll notify you guys, you'll know, it'll be announced.
Let's go.
In addition to doing a review of the specials, even if the overall stream's a bit shorter, that's fine. Like, we'll do, like, an analysis of the 4 specials.
As well.
I'll do that big overall tier list. And yeah, I'll try and get more people here maybe. Not necessarily in voice chat, we'll try and make it like a proper event. Because these streams have been really quiet. And I don't mind nobody watching these, because I'm doing this for your guys' benefit. And I love just hanging out with you for a bit and talking about it. But, you know, if anyone else wants to join in, the recording is here on YouTube.
Didn't you say you wanted...
was planning on watching them.
Crew, yeah. Oh, yeah, Doctor Who coming to Disney Plus in a few days.
Yes!
Matt, didn't you want to say you wanted to show something at the end?
God,
the Children in Need thing.
So much. Is there anything you guys want to say about Series 4 before we go on to this? Because, like, I know I've been talking a lot.
Well, I haven't watched... I've watched up to Series 5, 6, 7, 8, but it's been ages. I still don't think they go... I still don't think they go higher than Series 4.
Yeah.
We can
do a series tier list eventually. Yeah, Swim's ahead of us. One day I'll do like a series tier list we can compare. Series 4's up there. Also, Nicholas, welcome. You are late. We're ending the stream soon.
Let me find the ranking I did of like all the. I think I sent it to Ethan. There's like a rank of all the seasons up until 10.
Wow.
Just need to locate this thing.
Livy, is there anything you wanted to say about like series 4, just overall?
I think out of all the series that I've binge watched with Ethan so far, because I remember watching a few episodes here and there when I was little, but I've never actually watched the full series. I would say in terms of like, definitely in terms of ending the series off, this one had the most powerful ending. Overall, I'd probably say I put it like up at the top for my favorite season series. So far. Yeah.
I mean, you can technically call it a season, but season's like the old format. Because, like, series 1 is like season 40-something, if you count the old Who.
Yeah.
Oh, the old format
wow.
was weird, though. They released it in, like, 20-minute parts.
Yeah, and it was all 6
Yeah,
parts. And they didn't really do series.
That's how television was back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
I'm still annoyed the
olden
Unearthly
days.
Child didn't get released again.
Yeah, man, that's so unfortunate. I'd love to watch it, but apparently it's boring. Like, they spent an entire
the
episode
first
crossing a
Doctor isn't great.
cave or something. The
The
Daleks is
first
better.
Doctor isn't great.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I found my ranking.
Nice. Put it in collaboration,
So,
if you will.
Well, it's not like... It's just one I wrote in chat.
Oh, okay.
So I could say it. So, like, my favourite of the new ones is season 4. Then I'd have to say 2. Then 7. Actually, the thing is with 2. I'm not sure if I prefer season 2 or 7.
Ooh, choices.
I'd go 2 over 7 because the start of season 7 was just really mid.
Yeah.
Like, dinosaurs on a spaceship. Anyway, yeah, so I'd go 4, 2, 7, 9, 8, 5, 1, 6, and then 3 in last.
Yeah, damn. Man, the disrespect for Series 3, I don't believe it. But fine.
Sorry, but it's just not interesting.
It's so much better
Yeah.
than 7, though, just in terms of structuring
Livy,
and
what-
consistency.
Seven's
Livy,
great.
what say you about Series 3?
Wow. It has the best series arc of the Russell T era.
I strongly...
Just from a writing point of view.
I
Like,
respect
every... Aside from 42,
God.
every single episode counts. It's not
Gridlock
like
sucked.
Series 2, where they just kind of slapped... Well, no, it's not like Series 1, where they just had Bad Wolf slapped on everything. It's not like... I don't even know what the Series 2 arc was. It was just the Doctor and
Hang on,
Rose's relationship.
doesn't 42 have those moments where Martha's
Oh,
trying to
yeah,
call
it
her
does!
mum?
No, every single episode contributes. Yeah, no, it has the phone calls. Yeah, I forgot about that. I don't know, man.
See, this is the good thing
My
about having watched every single episode.
See,
in
Series
3 now,
7
'cause-
would be better if it didn't have this, like, weird split
exactly.
with the first 5-6 episodes.
Because the thing is, I'd say,
Ugh,
like,
man.
everything before, like, no, the second part of the series, I'd say, is like probably second place in terms of the series tier list.
They do get better as
Like-
they go along.
Day of the Doctor and Time of the Doctor are absolutely amazing episodes.
Also, didn't you say that you preferred 11 and Clara's dynamic compared to 12 and Clara's dynamic?
Yeah, I did. It reminded
Yeah,
me
I don't
more
know.
of
I
like
think they're both
Rose and the
good.
Doctor's dynamic.
Yeah.
Fair enough. There's honestly, there's so many good ones.
And
But
like,
I need
was-
to rewatch stuff to form my own opinion, because my family had a very strong opinions on stuff that just kind of dominated the household when I was younger, and it's like, I didn't really form my own opinion on some stuff. Like, I don't know, I can see either way.
I was gonna say about Series 7, the fact that for the first part of Series 7, each episode uses a different Instagram filtered version of the intro is just
oh, I hate
kind of
that so
kind of
much.
Oh, it
weird.
was so bad. They looked
I mean,
so
The
bad.
thing is, I hated
Uh.
that, but what made up for me was probably that the second part of the series tier list. Tier list.
I think
Second part of the series intro was probably my favourite intro out of them all.
You're right,
I
and
think-
it was like the least used, and I miss it so much.
I think for the Series 7A intros, I think what I prefer over the Series 5 and 6 versions is that the logo fades in better. Like I do like the 3-dimensional logo, you know, where it twists and turns into the TARDIS. But I kind of prefer the way it was done in Series 7A.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I gotta end the stream soon because time is ticking. So before we go, I just wanted to mention the 14th Doctor is here.
Speaking of the Series 7 theme, someone released. There's a channel that's releasing unreleased music on from Doctor Who, and they released the Series 7 B theme.
Right, because like it's hard to find something like the soundtrack, and it's one of the best ones, which is a real shame. Such an improvement.
I really like the music.
It's like Series 4s mixed with Series 5s. It's so good.
Personally, I'd say
yeah.
Visually, the best one is the 12th, but I'd say like with music, it's 11th B.
And it was based on like a fan-made one. That was a really cool, fun thing.
No, the 12th one goes so hard.
Yeah, I'm sorry, there's not much time, guys. I just wanted to mention, so BBC released a Children in Need special. I don't know if you've already seen it, but Ethan wanted to talk about it.
So
I want to mention it before I forgot. So check that out if you haven't already. It's probably not like canon, I don't think it's that serious. It's just a funny little special where he crash lands on Skaro before the Daleks are even made. So it's like, it kind of links with Genesis of the Daleks. It's cool. And yeah, Julian Bleach is in it as a younger Davros, shall we say. But yeah, we'll get, I mean, I'm going to include the next Doctor on the next list. I would have included it with this, but there just wasn't time, and I figured, you know what, it's a special, so we'll put it in the specials. Yeah, I should have included it with this, but like, there just hasn't been time. But the next one will be too short, maybe, so we'll see. But yeah, this has been fun. Thank you all so much for joining. Guys, whoever's watching this, if you have enjoyed, like, share, subscribe, check the links in the description. Today's charity shout-out goes to Samaritans. You know, I'm not going to tell you about them. Be able to find out for yourself. Go ahead and click that link. See what it is all about. Maybe donate. All the links are there, same as usual. I don't think anyone's attempted the QOTD, so we can forget about that. I just did the opposite, because last time it was like your favourite Doctor Who companion, so I put favourite antagonist. So it could be like a monster or an individual, but...
I think everyone would just go Daleks.
Oh, yeah. There is one obvious plot hole in Journey's End. If the reality bomb actually destroys all realities, then there must have been a possible reality where it did work.
I think that.
What's going on with that?
I think this was actually. I think someone actually had a theory about this. Is that something to do with Dalek Khan? Because you know he's the prophet of the thing. So
I mean, he orchestrated everything, didn't he?
He orchestrates it, and I think that runs throughout every single parallel universe and every single parallel existence. So there is no universe where the reality bomb actually goes off. Interesting. Because yeah, Dalek Khan. I mean, you forget, but it's like he can literally see through time now. The other technical plot hole is like, how did Dalek Khan actually break through the barrier into the Time War and rescue Davros?
Yeah, that's what confused me.
It's never explained.
Wasn't he like launched there after?
It's just
emergency temporal shift.
The thing is, it is addressed though, because Davros comes. He's like a single simple Dalek succeeds where Time Lords and Emperors have failed, and it's like he uses the word strength to describe how it was possible. So is like Dalek Khan just like super has just got like great willpower, or is it like was it because he was the last of his species he had like enough willpower to just plot armor his way to victory? I mean, it cost him his mind, of course, but
because when the Cult of Skara emergency temporal shifted out of the void sucking thing, they emergency temporal shifted back to 1930s New York, which I assume wasn't by choice, because I don't know why of all places they would go there.
Like, why didn't they? Yeah, why did they choose to go there? Again, it's just not explained. I guess maybe they didn't have power.
It's called emergency temporal shift for a reason, and the Doctor states it roasted up their power cells. So it requires a lot of power, and they probably don't have any control over where it goes.
Yeah.
Although, maybe fate intertwined with it. Maybe fate, sent him into the Time War.
Yeah, if you believe in that. Yeah, I don't know. But like these things can be explained. So I'm not moving Journey's End out of S tier, because I think maybe the reality bomb wouldn't have actually worked. It would have only destroyed the one universe, because like we don't actually know. I mean, Davros is kind of like, he's a bit crazy, so I wouldn't trust everything he says.
I got a little bit of a
Khan's influences.
Davros.
What about that?
In my opinion, Davros's integration in season 9 was better than Journey's End.
Ooh, I mean, I think Journey's End was fine, but I think it serves as a good platform for Series 9, which did more to actually explore his character. Because, yeah, in Series 4, he's just evil. He's just a personification of evil, who's just kind of, like, there to do evil things. And it's a bit two-dimensional. And, like, I think it's fine for the situation, because there's not much room, but it's, like... Yeah, Series 9 was much more interesting and introspective. And it was needed, I think.
Series 9 in a way really shows how evil he actually was.
Yeah. And it's like how he's a kind of product of his environment and stuff.
He opened his eyes.
Honestly, yeah, that was shocking, that scene. That was like absolutely mind-blowing. But yeah, anyway, I think I gotta end the stream now. But yeah, Series 4 is amazing. Livy, is there anything else you want to say before we finish? Oops.
Yeah, I have one thing to say. So I think the last one I was on before I had to go was the... Oh god, here we go. The Sun Turns...
The Sontaran stratagem.
Sontarans!
Yep, that one. Sorry.
Sontarans!
I'm still having brain freeze from earlier. Migraines are great. But you forgot one key thing. How did the intruder get in?
The
How did he
intruder?
get in? Intruder window.
Yes!
Oh, okay.
How did you
Alright.
forget that?
Again, this is the charm of the show. Like, unironically, all these like little references and stuff, just the little things that build such a compelling world and characters. We could talk about this show endlessly, guys, but I gotta go. So, you know what? You guys can do the outro. I'm already going to the end screen. I've said everything I need to. Alright.
Thanks for watching.
I'll be back.
Thanks for watching.
Stay hydrated.
See you next time.
Now subscribe
Did we
to
do
all
Matt's
of us.
outro or our
Subscribe.
outro?
Subscribe to all of us except Matt. Unsubscribe from Matthew.
Bro, can hear.
Bro, blood is not. The blood is not getting subscribers.
Bloodwind
Stay
lost
hydrated,
2,000
people.
subs.
Goodbye, chat.
Goodbye.
Bye.